Hallo alle miteinander. Herzlich willkommen an alle, die schon im Chat dabei sind. Wir haben heute alle Pixelmäuse von euch und alle Leute, die irgendwie mit Adobe zusammenarbeiten, alle Leute von euch quasi. Alle, die irgendwie mit Adobe zu tun haben, vielleicht irgendwie mit Photoshop oder mit Premiere was schneiden. Das sind so die zwei Sachen, die ich meistens mache. Die werden heute viel Spaß haben. Und ansonsten für alle, die immer mal Interesse hatten, sich die ganzen Adobe-Produkte anzugucken und was gibt es da überhaupt Neues? Was kann man damit denn alles so tun? Die sind hier genau richtig, denn heute findet die große Adobe Max Kreativkonferenz statt und wir gucken uns die Opening Keynote an, wo natürlich auch ihr kennt ihr vielleicht aus dem Chat, Adobe CEO dabei ist. Und ich fange immer an zu husten, gerade wenn ich streame. Das gibt's so nicht. Also, heute keine Adobe CEOs im Chat. Dafür werden wir sie heute quasi live angucken. In 9 Minuten geht's los. Bin mega gespannt auf die neuen Features vom PDF-Reader. Ja. Und ich habe sogar von Adobe so ein kleines Goodie-Pack bekommen. Mit so einer schönen großen Tasche, mit einem Notizbuch, lauter Knabberzeug. Das ist natürlich so eine Sache, mir das 3 Tage vor dem Stream zu schicken, ist das Knabberzeug natürlich schon weggeknabbert. Das muss man wissen, wenn man mir was schickt. Man weiß nie, wann es soweit sein wird. Ja, genau. Warum machst du Werbung für Adobe? Ich schneide mit Adobe. Adobe Premiere nutze ich für Rocket Beans, um zum Beispiel das Best-of zu schneiden jeden Monat. Und Adobe Photoshop nutze ich auch sehr viel, vor allem auch für YouTube-Thumbnails oder solche Geschichten. Hätte ich auch mal Lust, so einen Photoshop-Stream zu machen und wie ich da so alles zusammenschustere. Auch das ganze Layout hier für den Stream, natürlich jetzt gerade habe ich, hab ich nicht so viel hier gemacht. Das ist jetzt einfach nur bei der Webcam. Aber das andere, warte mal, dieses hier kann man natürlich auch schön mit Photoshop zusammenschustern. So, und das ist noch ein Video, was so im Hintergrund ist. Ja. Ich glaube, irgendwann mache ich auch mal so ein Photoshop-Ding, wenn ich einfach mal ein Thumbnail baue oder so. Ich will sehen, wie Rico da hinten hochspringen will und mit einem awkwarden Blick da runterrutscht. Ja, das will ich auch gerne sehen. Sagt mir Bescheid, falls er in die Richtung geht und es versucht, dann mach ich ganz schnell so. Aber ich glaube, so blöd ist er nicht. Ja, und wir gucken einfach mal rein. In 5 Minuten geht's los. Geht so ungefähr 2 Stunden. Das Dingen. Und falls ihr Lust habt, ihr könnt doch einfach Ausrufezeichen Adobe in den Chat hauen. Bekommt ihr ein paar Infos. Das heißt, diese Kreativkonferenz, die geht noch bis 20. Oktober und da gibt es allen möglichen kostenlosen Content. Wie mache ich irgendwas mit Photoshop? So alle möglichen kleinen Sessions oder Vorträge, wo ihr einfach kostenlos mithören könnt oder euch das angucken, falls ihr da Interesse dran habt. Könnt ihr gerne den Link anklicken und dann kommt ihr da hin und dann könnt ihr schön gucken. Hunde haben ein tolles Talent dafür, dann so awkward rumzustehen, wenn ihm was Peinliches passiert ist. Ja, Rikon der ist dann eher so ein bisschen angepisst. Also wenn jemand über ihn lacht, wenn ihm irgendwas passiert und jemand lacht über ihn, dann geht er weg und dann guckt er dich den Tag über nicht mehr an. Dann ist er beleidigt. Ja, er ist speziell, kann man sagen. Das kenne ich eigentlich nur von Katzen. Ja, wir haben, glaube ich, schon mal so ein bisschen festgelegt, dass er so halb Hund, halb Katze ist. Das ist nicht so ein so richtiger Hund, aber auch nicht so 100% eine Katze. Oh, er hat einen Blick auf das Sofa. Nein, nein, doch nicht. Verflixt. Ja, Ricky, hast du gesehen, was ich gemacht habe? Und der Etro auch wieder am Start. Hat ein bisschen Pfeifenkraut mitgebracht. Ja, Rikon mag nicht, wenn man lacht. Das stimmt. Das stimmt. Also die Kisten weiß nicht, was er machen soll. Irgendwann muss es sich ja mal lohnen, dass ich so viele Kisten habe. So, in 3 Minuten geht's los. Es ist, so wie ich es richtig verstanden habe, alles auf Englisch. Ich glaube, ich kann nicht simultan übersetzen. Aber wir reden natürlich darüber, was wir da so sehen. Falls ihr Fragen habt, fragt gerne Caro Let's Design im Chat. Ja, mit was arbeitest du, Caro? Ich gehe jetzt schon mal hier rüber. Caro Let's Design nutzt Photoshop, InDesign, Premiere am meisten. Sehr gut. Ja, InDesign ist auch so eine Sache. Wofür nutzt du InDesign? Ich habe das Gefühl, InDesign ist eher so für physische Sachen. Nochmal wie so Hefte und sowas, was gedruckt wird. Das mache ich eher selten. Bisher gibt es noch kein Heft, was ihr kaufen könnt. Vielleicht bald. Vielleicht nach dieser Kreativkonferenz werde ich mich entscheiden, dass ich ein eigenes Magazin daraus bringe. Für Printprodukte am meisten, ja, stimmt. Aber auch für PDF-Portfolios gut. Gab es ja nicht mein Insider-Heft. Ja, ich hätte auf jeden Fall, wir machen immer im Discord, wir, Bergi schreibt gerne mal im Discord abends die sogenannte Mara-Schau, wo dann das Geschehen des Tages zusammengefasst wird. Das wäre natürlich Teil des Heftes, klar. Da müsste ich mich mit meiner Redaktion, aka Bergi Berg, nochmal zusammensetzen, wie das in das Heft reinpasst. So, Keynote will begin shortly, das kann ich euch noch übersetzen. Die Keynote beginnt in Kürze. Wird das Heft dann jeden Tag herausgegeben? Ja, das wird schwierig mit dem Druck, aber ich glaube, da kann sich Bergi auch drum kümmern. Oder auch händisch schreiben. Ansonsten, Ausrufezeichen Discord, schaut gerne vorbei. Im Discord, da geht es heiß her. Das ist wirklich kein Discord, wo man irgendwie mal eine Ankündigung liest, heute ist ein Stream und nächste Woche ist das und das, sondern da ist Power im Discord, du. Und diverse CEOs treiben sich natürlich da herum. Der Adobe CEO jetzt heute ausnahmsweise nicht, weil der ist jetzt hier gleich bei der shortly beginnenden Keynote. So, wer von euch wird das denn mal ausliefern, die Hefte? Lapidarius, glaube ich. Ja, da haben wir doch schon alles zusammen. Ja, Bergi macht da mal was klar. Und Caro macht das alles in InDesign. Da haben wir doch schon das perfekte Team. Musik ist sehr funky, ja. Ich glaube, also da, wo die Keynote jetzt gerade gehalten wird, ist es 10 Uhr morgens oder 9 Uhr morgens oder sowas. Adobe Max. Ist irgendeiner von euch jetzt da im Publikum? Sagt mal Bescheid. Schreibt mal in den Chat, wenn ihr da sitzt.
Please welcome Shantanu Narayan.
Da, das ist unser Adobe CEO, Leute.
Good morning.
Da ist er, immer im Chat gewesen.
So great to be back
Some
in
user.
person after 3 years for our 20th Max. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I mean, how cool was that video? Let's give them a round of applause.
Komm noch mal. Klapp ich auch.
The excitement and energy here is so palpable. I cannot even tell you how cool it is to be back here. And we're joined by over 6,000 people in this room and thousands more from around the world for the largest creativity conference ever. So thank you so much for being here. Now, speaking of numbers, this is year for milestones, both for Adobe as well as for me personally. We celebrate 40 years, and our 40th anniversary in December. We could not be more proud of the impact that our technologies have had on every aspect of human society. From inventing desktop publishing, to revolutionizing imaging and design, to pioneering electronic documents, to advancing animation, gaming, and video, and now to leading in 3D, immersive, digital marketing and commerce. We are focused on empowering everyone, everywhere, to imagine, create, and bring any digital experience to life. It's incredible to actually reflect on the evolution of the company and our community over this time. We focused on continuously delivering groundbreaking innovation, radically expanding our aspirations, and relentlessly focused on bringing the best of Adobe to all of you. But it really is your commitment, your passion, and your creativity that have inspired us to reach higher. So on behalf of everybody at Adobe, thank you. Thank you for the incredible collaboration over all these years. This year, I also celebrate my 25th year at Adobe. And growing up, I wanted to be a journalist. I'm blessed that at
Wollt ihr
Adobe
übrigens
I've been
Untertitel haben?
vicariously able to participate
Geht
in the
das?
publishing industry. And as I reflect on how the company has evolved, there are 4 experiences that stand out for me. When I joined the company, InDesign was the first product that I worked on. At that time, Quark was the de facto publishing platform, but we were
Okay,
convinced
die sind
that
furchtbar,
there was
diese
an
Untertitel.
opportunity to create a brand new
Eieiei. Machen wir lieber
modern
aus.
digital publishing. We released InDesign in 1999, built from scratch with a plug-in architecture to encourage contributions from every one of you.
Adobe Sensei?
We tackled
Das ist
problems that
nochmal
existed in
der
those
CEO
days
vom CEO.
to serve the
Das ist der
global
Adobe
community,
Sensei.
including DoubleByte with a codename project Hotaka, specifically aimed at the Japanese market. And it was those early strategic decisions that helped us make InDesign the digital publishing powerhouse that it continues to be till today. The seminal acquisition of Macromedia in 2005 was a result of our expanding our aperture to tackle both the print and web with a common platform. We think it laid the foundation for delivering all of our offerings across multiple operating systems as well as devices simultaneously, forever changing the aspirations of the company. Together we expanded into print,
Konferenz
into
gibt es
web,
20. Oktober. Ja, wir
gaming,
gucken jetzt quasi
animation, and
48
video.
Stunden durch.
But success for us was really about bringing 2 vibrant cultures
Aber die
together
Keynote hier
with a
geht
focus
ungefähr
on
2
serving
Stunden.
millions of customers with an integrated offering. And Creative Suite 3 was a result of this monumental effort. With the tectonic shift in cloud computing and mobile, we resolved to reinvent ourselves again with the launch of Adobe Creative Cloud in 2012, which allowed us to deliver continuous innovation and engage with you in entirely new ways. The transitioning from desktop software to software as a service was a first, not just for Adobe, but actually for the entire industry. And I'm so thankful for your support, your engagement, your encouragement through this entire journey. Now we are focused
Das ist schon krass, so
taking
eine
innovation to make our products more
Opening-Rede zu halten,
powerful,
oder? Würdet ihr euch das
accessible,
zutrauen?
and fun. And we think we have this unique opportunity to learn from
Boah, ich
the
müsste das
millions of
bestimmt
people
50
who
Mal
use
üben.
our products
Holy
every
shit.
single day, to the hundreds of assets that are being created through the power of artificial intelligence and machine learning. Adobe Sensei, which is our AI and ML framework that launched in 2016, is one of our most important investments. And you'll hear more today from both David and Scott about how Sensei is all about anticipating and solving problems that have vexed us for decades. Our goal is to continuously build on these learnings and our investments to invent the future with you. And there are 3 key strategies that we're now focused on. Adobe's mission to democratize creativity is about enabling anyone, anywhere to tell their story, whenever and wherever inspiration strikes. With every product launch, we try to expand the lens to make creativity more accessible to more people. And we're bringing the power and precision of Adobe Magic to every category, including imaging, illustration, design, 3D, and immersive. We brought
Da kann
Lightroom
man sicher sein, dass die
to
Vortragenden
mobile,
ein
desktop,
ausführliches
and
Coaching
web,
und Überstunden
offering
bekommen. Macht Apple,
powerful
glaube ich, auch so.
capabilities
Ja,
to
wahrscheinlich.
precisely
Ja, das wäre sonst
capture,
super
edit,
peinlich.
and share photos across any device. With Adobe Scan, we've turned mobile devices into powerful scanning and recognition tools, enabling PDF for the mobile era. Most recently, Adobe Express enables consumers, communicators, and creative pros to create this incredible, amazing content. Bringing powerful capabilities from Adobe Photoshop and Premiere and After Effects and Acrobat to Express to deliver the best of Adobe to customers at any level. Our vast portfolio of industry-leading products are empowering billions of people to tell their stories in richer and more varied ways than ever before. But creativity for AI is not just about product innovation. It's also about unleashing the power to do social good. Today, we're announcing that Adobe Express for nonprofits, which provides Adobe Express for free to the over 10 million global nonprofits to help them engage donors and drive greater impact.
Ich hatte tatsächlich, glaube ich, immer einen Adobe-Account, weil ich irgendwo gearbeitet
For
habe,
us,
wo
creativity
die
has
Produkte
always been
genutzt
about a fundamental
wurden.
collaborative
Ich
and
glaube,
social
ich musste mir das nie irgendwie
As we've
privat einen
innovated
Account
across
machen,
surfaces, media
sondern immer
types,
über
and
die Firmen.
devices to engage an even broader set of creators, designers, and developers, we're building the future of collaborative creativity on an even larger scale. Collaboration for us has always been about harnessing the power of the community in an asynchronous fashion. And given the new hybrid work reality, we're turning our attention to solving
Ja, für ab und zu
synchronous
mal
collaboration.
irgendwie ein Bild kleiner machen,
The
das
acquisition
ist,
of
glaube ich, jetzt ein
Frame.io
bisschen
and
too much.
Workfront were key
Also,
strategies for us in
ich glaube, die
advancing this
komplette
effort across both
Adobe-Palette, da musst du
video
eigentlich schon
as well
irgendwie
as
mitarbeiten
marketing
oder viel
campaigns and
mitmachen.
their workflows. But
Ansonsten
a
reichen die auch
few weeks ago, we
Standardprogramme.
were absolutely thrilled to announce our intent to acquire Figma, a leading web-first collaborative product design platform. Thank you. And together
Ist das ein Elefant mit einem
Figma, we have this
Zebramuster da hinten? Das
unique
ist ja verrückt.
to advance product design, accelerate creativity on the web, and reimagine the future of creativity and productivity. Adobe Magic for us is about unleashing entirely new innovation that amplify the power of human ingenuity. We're using Adobe Sensei to allow people to free themselves from mundane tasks and deliver absolutely new superpowers. Speech to text, for example, in Premiere Pro, that uses the power of AI to automatically generate captions to video.
Oh,
Or Liquid Mode
Freunde,
in Acrobat,
das ist
which
was für
uses
mich.
AI to automatically make responsive PDF on mobile devices. Sensei-powered features like content-aware fill and neural filters in Photoshop that are making Photoshop even more accessible, smarter, and easier to use across surfaces. And our goal is to make AI your co-pilot in all of your creative endeavors. But as a
Irgendwann
company
sage ich einfach nur Best
that
of
serves
schneiden und dann macht
billions
es
of
das
people,
selber.
we are also extremely serious about the responsibility to ensure that our technology is making a positive impact. And through the Content Authenticity
Ja, ich würde auch
Initiative,
sagen, also die ganze
Adobe is
Adobe-Palette,
partnering with
da
over
musst du, also wenn du das
800
investierst, musst du eigentlich
organizations
schon
globally to
das
combat
beruflich machen.
misinformation as well as provide
Oder auf
attribution
irgendeine
and
Art
provenance
damit
for creators.
Geld verdienen oder sowas.
Thank you. But for us, we deliver the best of Adobe when we do it together with every one of you. We're really grateful for the engagement and connections that we see across our
KI nutze
over
ich beim Coden,
30
sehr cool
million
irgendwie.
strong Behance community.
Was macht ihr denn, die KI da?
Thanks to the
Ach, die
incredible
KI codet da
partnership
alles
with
für
over
Birne, oder was?
300,000 global
Das ist ja
contributors.
was.
Adobe Stock now offers nearly 300 million images, videos,
Stimmt, das
vectors,
haben sie nämlich
and
auch noch.
fonts to give millions of creators the world's best assets.
Adobe Stock mit den ganzen
And with
Fotos
Adobe
und,
Max,
und
what
Zeug.
started out as a small gathering of web designers and
Ich
developers,
glaube, da hat Rocket Beans
now
auch
bring together millions of
Zugang
creators
zu,
from every
beziehungsweise
corner of the
unsere
world,
Grafiker.
representing every creative discipline. And through the content that you create, share, and monetize, you are amplifying our collective impact. Thank you. Thank you for continuing to inspire our over 27,000 employees around the world to create products.
Glaubt ihr wohl nicht, dass ich hier ewig noch streame? Ich werde mir einfach mit Adobe hier so einen Avatar machen, was so sprechen kann, so hin und her wackeln und dann macht das hier die Streams.
To be a creator, and we're humbled to partner with you to push the art and science of creativity forward. The world is truly your canvas. And my ask of you is to keep dreaming bigger. Challenge us to help you realize your creative visions and ultimately make the world a more colorful, vibrant place. But thank you so much again for joining us today. And with
Ja, in den
that,
nächsten
I'd now
5000
like to
Streams werde
welcome
ich das
David
bauen.
Wadhwani President of Adobe's
War mit
digital
Photoshop.
media business. Thank you.
It's amazing to be in person after all these years. And I want to start by just echoing a little bit of what Shantanu said. Shantanu's journey at Adobe over the last 25 years in many ways
President
has mirrored
Digital
my very
Media
own.
Business ist
I
der hier.
attended the very first Max. Anyone know where that was or how long ago it was? Salt Lake City. I heard someone say it. Oh, it's an Adobe person. It was Salt Lake
That guy-
City,
that Salt Lake
20
City
years
guy.
ago. And it's amazing to see how much of this industry has changed in those 25 years. But the thing that I remember most was that I was blown away by the people that I met. And at the end of the day, that's why many of us are at Adobe today, because we love the people we work with and because we're in awe of the people we work to serve, all of you. We're inspired by you because your creativity moves the world forward. You bring the past to life. You imagine the future. You ignite our imagination. You shine a light on the things that we need to discuss, and you help your companies elevate their voices in a crowded market. And of course, sometimes you just make us laugh when we need to do it the most. What you do makes the world a better place. And our sole focus is to push our tools and our services forward so you can keep breaking new ground. What makes this moment so special is that we're living at a time where content and creativity and design has never been more valued, where content is fueling the global economy, where digital
hier.
content consumption
Wir halten nämlich
is
die Global
exploding,
Economy
and
am
where
Rennen hier mit
virtually
unserem
every
Stream.
business needs a digital presence. Of
Falls ihr euch
course,
mal gefragt
this
habt,
creates
warum ich das hier
amazing
mache.
opportunity for all of you.
Global Economy muss angetrieben
But it
werden.
also creates real challenges. The vast majority of you say that it's really hard to keep up with the demands on your time and that you have less bandwidth to experiment and learn new things. And that's what we want to focus on today. How can Adobe help you take what's in your mind and make it with higher production value and in less time? So you can take advantage of the opportunities in front of you, and so you can spend more time
Dingo-Reactions
surprising and
sind, ja,
inspiring all of us with what you create.
27% des Bruttoinlandsprodukts, ja.
In a minute, I'll invite Scott Belsky, who runs our creative products, on stage to walk you through all the incredible innovation his team has been working on. And when he does, it will be very easy to get caught up in all the amazing technology. And you should get caught up in it. It's kind of mind-blowing. But beyond the raw technology, I want you all to keep a few things in mind. First is that our goal, as Shantanu said, has always been to give you the ability to accomplish anything in your mind's eye with the most powerful creative products in the world. And over the last few years, we've been investing more and more in Adobe Sensei, our AI engine. I like to refer to Sensei as your creative co-pilot. You're
Oha.
already using hundreds of features that are powered by Sensei to automate mundane tasks, and we'll be announcing more of them here today. So you can express your creative ideas
Sensei,
more quickly, especially given
thumbnail.
the increasing demands on your time. But of course, the promise of having a creative co-pilot isn't solely about productivity. It's also about possibility. As our research director, Gavin Miller, puts it, creating with AI can feel like dreaming out loud. And we're working on new capabilities that can take our core flagship applications to whole new levels. Imagine being able to ask your creative co-pilot in Photoshop to add an object to a scene simply by describing what you want, or asking your co-pilot to give you an alternative idea based on what you've already built.
Oh wow, das ist so ein bisschen wie dieses,
Like magic.
diese Website, ne, wo man sagen
Imagine
kann,
if
was
you
man
can
haben will
combine
und dann
Gentech
bekommt man einfach
with
so ein
Lightroom. So you can ask
KI-generiertes
Sensei to
Kunstwerk.
transform night into day, a sunny photograph into a beautiful sunset,
Oh, das wäre ja der Hammer.
move shadows, or change the weather. This is
Schneide
all
die Person
possible
aus dem
today
Bild.
with the latest advances in generative technology. For those of you not familiar with generative AI, it can conjure up an image simply from a text description. And we're really excited about what this can do for all of you.
Alter, was
But
ich
we
mir dann
also
für
want
wilde
to do
Thumbnails
this
ausdenken
thoughtfully.
könnte.
We want to do this in a way that protects, empowers, and champions the needs of creators. So here's our commitment to
Male einen fränkischen
We're
Wels.
approaching
Ja.
generative technology from a creator-centric perspective.
Waller.
We believe
Ich
AI
habe sie
should
nicht
enhance
verstanden.
human creativity, not replace it.
Waller.
And it should benefit creators, not replace them.
Male Frankenwaller.
We also recognize that today's generative AI offerings fall short of your needs as creators. So we're investing in research and product design that incorporates it into your existing creative apps and works with your existing creative workflows. And we believe that the rise of generative AI calls for industry standards. As Shantanu mentioned, we'll work with our communities and our partners in the Content Authenticity
Machen die da alle
Initiative
Fotos
to
von?
develop standards
Es gibt auch einen Stream,
around
Leute.
ethics and digital provenance. So in short, we want you to be excited about the technology that we build and how we go about building it. Another way we're going to help you manage the increasing demands on your time is by giving you more explicit control over when you choose the power and precision of our desktop applications and when you want more speed and ease. And nowhere will this be more obvious than when you try Adobe Express. Express is our new service built from the ground up to empower all of you to quickly create content that stands out. It's included with your Creative
habe ich
Cloud
noch nie
membership,
benutzt,
so you
aber
can
schon von
decide
gehört.
when you want the power and precision of our core desktop applications and when you want the speed and ease of Express. And last, but certainly not least, we're doubling down on collaboration. Creativity
Willkommen
is
zur
increasingly
Konferenz,
a team
Chris
sport,
Phoenix.
whether you're collaborating with other creators or asking feedback from stakeholders. You'll hear a lot about share for review capabilities today from Scott this morning. Available today across video, design, and imaging, and it's going to be a huge time saver for all of you. And speaking of collaboration, as Shantanu mentioned, you may have heard of this little acquisition we entered into, an agreement to acquire Figma. Dylan Field, co-founder and CEO, a few years ago, and had the opportunity to spend a lot of time with him over the last year. He's truly a special leader, and it turns out we had a shared dream of what we could do together. Dylan will be joining us later this morning to share his thoughts on how we at Adobe can accelerate their work in ideation and product design, and how together we can reimagine the future of imaging and video and illustration and design and more. The opportunity ahead for all of you and all of us is astounding. At the same time, the demands on you has never been greater. And all of us at Adobe are committed to supporting you, whether it's by giving you superpowers, providing you more
Nutzt
options
irgendjemand
for
von euch
speed
was
and ease,
anderes
or making
außer
it seamless to work together.
Photoshop,
So with
Premiere
that,
oder After
please
Effects?
welcome Scott Belsky
Und
to
außer
show it all to
InDesign,
you.
außer diesen vieren.
And Scott, come on up.
Illustrator. Lightroom. Oh, mit Lightroom habe ich noch nie was gemacht.
Thank you, David. I'm really excited. I'm really excited to be with you all this morning.
Was ist der Unterschied zwischen Illustrator und InDesign? Das habe ich, glaube ich, noch nicht gecheckt.
All of which is designed to make you more productive and inspired, and ultimately outfit you to do your very best work. From breakthrough technology and performance improvements to new ways to work together and to create entirely new mediums, we've got a lot of fun stuff ahead.
Media Encoder?
All
Gut.
of these new features and capabilities that you're about to see
Illustrator ist für
fall under three
Vektorgrafiken.
themes. Performance
ja, okay.
and superpowers, or precision and superpowers, speed and ease, and collaborative creativity. So let me provide some very quick context on each of these themes, then we're going to jump right into some exciting demos and announcements ahead. And
InDesign zum Layout
we'll
und
start with
Illustrator für
precision and
Vektordesign. Ja.
superpowers. So our teams are on a mission to advance every creative category through better
Vektorgrafiken für alle, die ja nicht so
and
drin
powerful
sind,
new
das sind
features.
Grafiken, die
For
kannst du
instance, look
größer
at
und kleiner machen,
video.
ohne dass die dann
Premiere Pro, new
irgendwie
features
verpixelt
like
werden, wenn du
automatic
da
color
die
correction
größer machst
and
oder so.
one-click
Ein
remixing
JPEG
music
oder so.
tracks are making
Das
the
wäre keine
entire video
Vektorgrafik
process
dann.
much more efficient. In Photoshop on the desktop, we made it even simpler to select complex objects and work with assets imported from Illustrator. And in Photoshop on the web, available now in beta, we've launched new editing, compositing, and retouching capabilities to the product. These features, and many more like them, help you create precision and control
Ich
you're
glaube, ich finde es
accustomed
cool, wenn man
to
noch
quicker and easier.
schneller Leute ausschneiden
teams have
könnte.
also
Also
been
auch so von den Haaren
laser-focused
her und
on
so. Das ist
improving
immer so ein
performance.
bisschen gefuddelt,
So
habe
we
ich das Gefühl.
but we have made significant improvements
würde ich
across
gerne noch
Creative Cloud
einfacher
over the
haben.
last year in both performance and reliability, and this momentum will continue in the year to come.
Illustrator wird auch
We're
benutzt, um
also
die Grafiken
focused
für
on making you much more
2D-Animationen zu
productive with
erstellen.
new superpowers, as David was
Haare sind
talking
Endgegner,
about,
ja.
fueled by Adobe Sensei. So these AI superpowers take over the mundane and repetitive work,
Deswegen ist es immer
giving you
gut, wenn
more
jemand ein
time to
Foto von sich
explore
ausgeschnitten haben
and to
will,
iterate.
irgendwie mit ganz
For
kurzen
instance,
Haaren
in
oder mit
Photoshop,
Kappe.
you can get rid
Kurze
of a
Haare, Kappe,
distracting
ja, mache
object
ich.
just by clicking on
Locken,
it and hitting
lange
delete.
Haare, Locken.
Sensei automatically fills the space so you'll never even know it was there. Of course, AI isn't only about saving time. It's also about doing things that you previously didn't even think were
Ja,
technologically
über die Masken geht es, aber es
possible.
geht jetzt nicht
You can
innerhalb von
turn
2
day
Minuten,
into
oder?
night,
Oder hat Caro
or
da einen
summer
Trick?
into winter with neural filters. You can replace a moving object frame by frame
Jetzt wisst
all
ihr
at
auch, warum
once
bei
with
Rocket Beans
content-aware
Kappen
fill
getragen
in
werden. Ja,
After
für die
Effects.
Boden-Website,
And
es
that
muss
next
wenig Aufwand
generation of
sein.
AI that David was talking about earlier will actually help generate assets for you. We also want to
Ja, oder
outfit
auch
you
mit
with one more
ja, Zucchini im
superpower
Hintergrund, ja, mit
that's
so
becoming
einem
increasingly essential for
Leuchtgrün, was
creative
dann in die ganzen
professionals these
Haare
days,
reingeht.
and that is the ability to create for 3D and immersive experiences. 3D
Kurz gesagt wird mit
makes
Illustrator
designing
gemacht. Oh
creative
wow, wirklich.
marketing assets and new products better, faster, and cheaper. And getting involved in 3D creation now prepares creators and companies to develop for the immersive
Haare,
experiences of
Albtraum, vor allem
tomorrow.
wenn der Greenscreen beschissen
So today we'll
ausgeleuchtet
show
wurde.
you some
Bei
incredible updates
manchen
to our Substance
Bildern auf
3D
der Bodenseite
collection,
merkt ihr
and we'll
vielleicht ein
introduce you to a
bisschen.
breakthrough new product
Aber bei den
that will
meisten, die sind, glaube
accelerate
ich,
the
ganz okay
creation
geworden.
of immersive experiences. Okay, so I've talked a lot about some of the ways we're helping with precision and control, but let's face it, not all projects require painstaking detail. Sometimes you just want to do something super quickly and as easily as possible.
Ja.
And Adobe Express is really becoming the perfect app for those situations. When you need to quickly, edit an image, trim a video, make a GIF, or a GIF for those of you that like to be wrong, or craft the thank you, right? Express is really the perfect
Das kann ich,
tool.
dass Sie sich auch
And with
Comedian
Express,
eingeladen
you can
haben.
give anyone in the company templates and tools to create a social media post that follows your brand and design standards to a T. So lo and behold, you actually can retain creative control in this new world after all. Let's talk about collaborative creativity. Every creative project these days has a lot of stakeholders, right? Clients, marketing colleagues, developers, fellow creators. In fact, these days, Disney tries to compete with better design and creativity. You are all at the center, and everyone else is becoming your stakeholder. But the friction of collaborating, sending around these huge files, keeping track of endless amounts of versions, converting from one format to another, it's just always been too much. There has to be a better way, and we are building it. All right, so are you ready? All right.
We're ready!
Demo gods, are you ready? I hope so.
Okay,
We're live.
let's go.
We're going to start out in the world of design, beginning with Illustrator and InDesign. You're going to see new ways we're accelerating your work
So,
in
jetzt geht's ab.
Illustrator and how we're making handling type a breeze in InDesign. And you'll see one major new collaboration feature across our flagship products I just want to point out. Whenever you see share in the top right corner of your application, you now have actually two great options at your fingertips. First, you can invite others to edit your document with just a URL. The people that you're working with, can access this
Das
project
ist ja quasi
on
gerade
the
die
desktop
Opening
app or
Keynote,
jump
also
into
die
Photoshop on the
Einleitung zu,
web and to an
zu
Illustrator
dieser
on the
Konferenz,
web.
die 2 Tage lang geht.
But the
Deswegen
second, a brand
werden Sie
new
nicht direkt
option
nach 5
is
Minuten
share for
einsteigen
review.
mit den Sessions.
A super efficient way to get feedback from all stakeholders on your project with just a click. With Share for Review, you can share design with anyone just by sending a link. Your colleagues can view your work in any browser, make comments, and even point out specific parts of the design that need changes.
Oh, das ist nicht
And the
schlecht.
reviewers don't need Creative Cloud. In fact, they don't even need to be logged in. And you'll see all their comments start flowing right back into the application you use to create the design, where you can address it without ever disrupting your flow. So again, no more craziness, exporting to other formats, tracking versions, all this stuff. Share for Review really does make that old world obsolete. Okay, so with that, all right.
Weg mit
we
der
don't
alten
like friction.
Welt!
So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Danielle Morimoto and Bria Alexander to show you Share for Review and other cool new features in Illustrator and InDesign.
Thanks, Scott. All right, I am really to be here, and I'm sharing the latest features across both InDesign and Illustrator. I'm working on a travel journal design in collaboration with Christine Herron, a previous Adobe creative resident. I'm here in InDesign and I
Experienced
have most
Design
of the
Manager.
pages already laid out, but there's still a few
Ist sie.
adjustments that I'm looking to make. So let's jump right in. This spread is looking really good. A lot of illustration
list.
elements, so I want to add in a bit more photography. I have this photo that I took on my phone, I airdropped this in, so it is an HEIC image. Previously, I would have had to convert this in order to use it, but InDesign now supports modern formats like HEIC, JP2s, etc. All right, so I also want to add in a photo to this bottom left-hand corner. I don't have something exactly in mind, so I'm going to head to the web to Adobe Stock. Now, Adobe Stock gives me access
Ja,
to
let's go.
millions of images, videos, audio, lots of
Streifenhörnchen,
different
rein
types of
damit.
content. I've already done a quick search here for a chipmunk because this is an outdoor page and personally, I'm obsessed. So as I scroll through, I'm just looking for something where white text is still going to be legible on top of the
Das ist auch immer das
image,
Erste, was ich
maybe
google.
having the animal
Ich hab
off to
kein
the
Bild.
side a little bit. So something like this could
Chipmunk.
work really well. Now, I can download this
Oder
right now
Schildkröte, ja, ja.
way, but instead I'm going to save this directly to my CC libraries. That way Chris has access to it as well. So I'm going to head back to InDesign and go to my libraries panel. Here are all of those shared colors and graphics, and here's that image. So I'm just going to go ahead and place this in and then scale it on down. There we go. All right, so as soon as I scale this down, I am noticing the text still isn't working perfectly. You know, I want this text to ideally wrap around the side of the chipmunk. So in order to get that effect today, I would take this photo
Ja, manchmal
into
sind so ganz kleine
Photoshop, select the
Aussetzer, ne?
subject, generate a path, bring that path
Mal
back
kurz
today. I would
die
take this photo
Qualität
into
noch einmal kurz
Photoshop,
runterstellen.
select the subject, generate a path, bring that path into InDesign. All of that takes time. So instead, I'm going to use the brand new text wrap around object feature and use select subject. Now this analyzes my photo and it automatically found the subject for me. I'm going to bump up the padding just a little bit.
Wow,
Looks
das
great.
ist
So
nicht schlecht.
again, this is the brand new text wraparound object feature and it just makes things a lot simpler.
Ich will sehen, wie Caro hier im
I
Chat
do have a page
ausrastet
that
bei den
is a little bit
neuen
more text
Sachen.
heavy. I haven't styled this at all yet, just copy and paste. So typically when I go to style
Das ist
text,
echt
I might
nicht
start
schlecht.
with like my header text, go over to my
Oh, ich hoffe, das
properties
gibt's alles auch für
panel and
Photoshop.
start to look through
Ich möchte bitte
all
alles
of my
auch für
different
Photoshop
font
haben.
options, and there's a lot of them. And so it takes a lot of time. I might play with the scale of the text, and once I like something, I'll create a style. But that's just for the header, right? I now need to do that for my subhead and my description copy and my list. So instead, I'm going to get a baseline using the brand new style packs. Now, these are pre-packaged with different font pairings, and they use machine learning to look at my text and actually identify all of the different areas for me. There are multiple of these that come with InDesign, but where this is super powerful is you can create your own. So in paragraph styles, I can customize my own style packs, and that's exactly what I've done. So I'm going to go ahead and apply one of these right now. Again, it's using that machine learning, looking at my text, identifying the section, and just like that, it's
Junge,
changed the
dieses
entire
Heftchen macht
design.
sich von allein. Wir machen das Magazin.
This looks
Bergi,
really good. It is,
demnächst
not
möchte
my
ich die
favorite
Mara-Show
design for this
so.
particular style, so
So
I'm
und
gonna apply another
gedruckt.
one here. That's
Täglich
again,
bitte
this
einmal
is
an
the
Rocket
brand
Beans
new
schicken.
style packs, and it just makes things a lot easier when it comes to getting started and exploring new ideas. All right, last thing I want to do while I am in this file is actually to a graphic that I have. So this is an Illustrator file that I have embedded in InDesign, so I can just edit the original, and it will automatically launch Illustrator with that graphic. Now that I'm here, noticing a few things I still need to do. I have this list at the bottom here. I need to make this into a bulleted list. Super manual to do this today. If you know, you know. So with one click, I can make this a numbered list, lettered list, bulleted list, and there's also advanced stylings. I'm also going to head back over to my libraries panel and just pull in one more graphic here at the bottom. Perfect. So the main thing I actually want to do while I'm here is to this larger graphic I have. I have this rope that's on top of all of these other objects, and instead of having it behind or in front of everything, I really want to make it look like they're all weaving in and out of each other. So in order to get that effect today, I would take this rope, copy it, mask a little section, copy the rope again, mask a
Yes.
section. You get it. I'd
Dauert.
repeat that over and over again, and whew, you do not want to see my layers. So instead, I am
Das ist auch so
going
bei
to use the
Photoshop.
brand new intertwine feature. So with my lasso tool, I'm simply going to circle the areas
Nein.
where I want these
Oh
objects
nein,
to
das wird
swap
bitte alles
places.
für Photoshop, bitte. Bini, gibt's mehr für Photoshop rein.
Now, I'm doing this really quickly because I'm on stage. And
Oh, das ist geil.
it's still doing a fantastic job at identifying the sections. What's great about this is if I want to adjust something, I can come in really easily, do that, and it's non-destructive.
Nicht euer
So
Ernst.
again, I really quickly was able to make this look like it's weaving
Okay, das
in
ist
and out of
wirklich
each
geil.
This is
Nee,
super
das kann man,
powerful. This
das
is the
kann man
brand
nicht
new
mit Paint.
intertwine feature.
Bis jetzt. Wir warten mal auf die
All right,
Paint
I'm gonna
Max
save this file. I'm happy with this,
2022.
and I'm gonna head back over to InDesign. Now, I didn't have to export anything out of searching for it on my desktop. It's
Trotzdem hier und da
automatically
kleine
updated here.
Aussetzer.
Now, I do want to take a look through the rest of my designs again, and this is the part of the process where I'm really happy with my designs, but I would love to get feedback from someone else. Now, typically, I would have to export all of these pages out of InDesign, but collaboration is now built directly into the product. So I'm going to use the brand new Share for Review feature, and this allows me to create a web link that I can share with others to get feedback on my designs. Right now, I have it set to invite only, which is perfect because I just want a few
Das ist
people
tatsächlich
to
auch
see
super
this for
praktisch.
now. I can always make it public so anyone with the link can access it. So I'm going to go ahead and add my friend Bria, and I'm really curious what she thinks about the designs, and I'll go
So
ahead
spart
and
man sich
send it
diesen
off to her.
kompletten Schritt, das einmal alles rauszurechnen, dann nochmal per
Friend
E-Mail
of
oder irgendwo
Danielle and Senior
hochladen.
Program Manager on the team, and I get a notification right away in Creative Cloud on the web. I see it's from Danielle asking for
Natürlich
my
braucht die
thoughts.
andere Person
Let's take a look
das dann
and
auch, oder
see
wie?
what on.
Nee, da haben
Alrighty,
sie
it
eben
looks like
gesagt,
the
es
travel
geht auch,
journal
wenn
that we've
man
been
das nicht
collaborating
hat.
on, and it looks really, really great since I've last seen it. I love the style packs that she's incorporated here. I think it looks really good, but I am noticing that we did forget to license this image. And the really cool thing
Nee, man
about
braucht nur
Share for
Browser,
Review
ne?
is now you
Also es
can
geht
mark
auch,
up
wenn die andere
directly
Person
in the
kein
document. So what I'm going
Adobe
to
hat.
do is I'm going to place a pin where I've got the feedback and say, let's license this. If I can spell license. There we go. Alrighty. Up next, we did talk about changing this flag here to a tree. So once again, I'm going to mark up directly in the document, circle the area where I've got the feedback, and say, let's.
Oh, ich werde euch
use a
niemals so einen Link
tree
schicken. Ich weiß
here.
schon, dass ihr da nur Mist mitmachen würdet.
Alrighty, and as I continue to look through it, I love the weave that she's been able to incorporate here. I think it looks really cool, but I am noticing that we landed on New Zealand as our final country, but we talked about a few others in our collaboration together. So once
meine,
again,
sie
I'm
haben
going
eben
to
gesagt,
put
dass man
a
keinen
pin. I'm going to
Account
tag my
braucht.
teammate Jason Levine and ask Danielle and Jason, how'd we land here?
Aber wenn du die taggen
Alrighty,
willst,
and as I
dann
continue
ja
to look through the
schon.
document, I think it looks really, really great, but that is
Wahrscheinlich
the
gibt es so
awesome
ein,
power of
gibt's so
Share
ein
for Review.
Feature,
No
dass du
Slack
entweder als
messages,
Gast
no
oder
emails,
als
just you and your content.
eingeloggte
Back to you, Danielle.
Adobe-Person das nutzen kannst.
Bria. All right, so I just got a notification that Bria left a few comments on the designs. She's also standing right there. But I'm back here in InDesign, and there's now a built-in review panel where I can see
Google
all of the
Docs,
comments
genau.
that she's left. This is, I have a lot of pages. I don't have to go searching for every single place where she left feedback. With one click, it takes me directly to that spread. So I'm just gonna go ahead and make this first update. It's a really quick thing that she wants me to do. And then I'm gonna just resolve the comment to kind of get it out of my way. Definitely should license this later, but I'm gonna take a look at this last comment here. It looks like she's curious how we landed on this content. We've been going back and forth for like a while now. It happens, but I think I'm just going to reply back to her and tag my coworker, Paul Tranny. Here we go. Got to delegate this and see if he can look into this. And I'll reply directly here. And the great thing about this is all of the feedback that we have is now consolidated
Wirklich
around
wie
this
so eine
one
Kombi
document.
plötzlich aus
This is
Adobe
the
und
brand new Share for Review feature, and it truly changes the way
Teams
that I
oder
work with
Slack
other
oder
people.
sowas.
This is just new features coming to both InDesign and
Das ist
Illustrator.
bestimmt mega gut, wenn so ein
Thank you.
Grafikteam zusammenarbeitet.
So thank you, Danielle and Bria. As you can see, Intertwine's pretty awesome. Share for Review is a game changer. I mean, Share for Review is available today in Photoshop, Illustrator, and InDesign, and will be coming to the rest of Creative Cloud soon enough. And you're starting to see AI make its way into all sorts of little crevices of products, starting with style packs, for example, here. Those are just a few of the new features in Illustrator and InDesign. But over the last year, the teams have released so many other features and improvements in real time, including new ways to work with 3D objects, new options for all things text, and many others. So again, please dig into the latest versions of Illustrator and InDesign. Okay, we can't talk about our mission of creativity for all without talking a little bit about Adobe Express. We have so many, all right, we have so many experts in the room who are deeply specialized, right? Whether you're in video production, a designer, a photographer, an illustrator. But nearly all social platforms are mixed media these days, and most good posts are some combination of video, photography, graphics, and more. So creative pros today have to be capable of doing many different things and to do them fast. You may specialize in video, but you may want an illustrated thumbnail image that grabs people's attention for YouTube. Or you're a designer who wants to provide tools for your non-designer colleagues to create social media posts without your help. Or maybe you just have to get something done super quickly. Here to show you how Adobe Express can be a time saver for creative professionals and their teams alike is Paul Tranny. Paul.
Thank you so much, Scott. I'm so excited to show you Adobe Express. It's a web and mobile app for quickly creating social
Principal, das ist der Evangelist. Principal Worldwide Evangelist.
And it comes
Preach
with
it.
thousands of professionally designed templates. This helps you jumpstart your design. But you might be wondering, like, as a creative pro, why would I use Express? Well, just to knock out content quickly. Graphics of all types using my creative, because this has to look like my work. And that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna quickly knock out a social post for the same project Danielle was working on. So let's start with this template. Let's jump in here. It's all about what is in your travel journal. Hopefully everybody can mark Adobe Max off your list. And let's go ahead and add a shape behind that text just to make it stand out a little bit more, and everything just reflows and snaps into place nicely. Now, when it comes to fonts, you have access to all the fonts in the Adobe font library. All 20,000 fonts are available to you.
Ui.
By all judging me on my font choice, aren't you? Shame on you. I'd expect nothing less, actually. You have recommendations, and so does Express. So using AI based on your design, it'll serve up appropriate fonts. So no Comic Sans here or Papyrus, because it's not an avatar poster. It's a travel journal, and Express knows that. All right, I need to replace the background really fast. It's so easy to do, and you have access to millions of images with Adobe Stock integrated. So we could search on scenic. Let's get a nice scenic background. Background. Don't round it. There we go. Okay. And it just returns about 3 million images, so let me slowly scroll through each one of these. Bear with me. Let's just go with that one.
Das ist der Inhalt der nächsten 48
So notice
Stunden.
how it doesn't ask me for credits, and it doesn't give me a watermark. Uploads the actual high-res version, and check this out, like you have access to premium images as a Creative Cloud member. So we could add or remove filters. We could detach it from the background to move it around freely if we want to. Really, you have creative control. So tens of thousands of fonts, hundreds of millions of images. Can I say, I don't know, has all the images in my mind.
Can I get an amen? No, please.
But it also has your stuff with
Ich würde das so ausnutzen, dass ich ein Evangelist wäre.
This happens to be a shared library Danielle has access to, all my Photoshop and Illustrator work. Take that, drag it out, and start using it like so. Nice little Illustrator collage. We could just rotate
Man konnte über 50 Jahre lang jeden Tag ein neues Projekt machen, ohne eine Schriftart doppelt zu benutzen. Oh, wow.
We can put this right on this travel journal, and everything kind of snaps into place nicely. We'll grab another graphic, and this image, just to give it a human element. Now, for this image, I just need to knock out the background.
So, jetzt aber.
Right? That's so easy to do in Express. Check this out. Remove background quick action. I don't need to open this up in Photoshop. I don't need to do anything, to be honest with you. It does it for me. Right? Piece of cake.
So einfach geht das? Scheiße, ich mache alles viel
That's
zu
actually one of
schwierig.
the many quick actions you'll find like throughout Express.
Gibt es das auch für Photoshop? Oh nein, ich glaube, alle coolen Sachen gibt es für alle Programme außer Photoshop.
Now, let's talk about branding, because this is not on brand. I just picked a random font, to be honest with you, and it's not using the right colors. And Express makes branding easy. I love this. I'm going to go to new browser. You can set up your own brand like I've done. You add your colors, your logos, even your own custom fonts for you to use this content anywhere. That's my favorite part right here, inviting other people, other designers, non-designers,
Look at my font.
That annoying person's always asking you for the logo. Yeah, stop bothering me. You have the logo, right? All you have to do is go to that project, and all they have to do is click Apply Brand, And we can shuffle through different colors of that as well. Changes the font, gives me the logo. We can move that over. So I love it. Express really puts you in control of the brand for anyone to use, really anywhere.
Er ist so richtig begeistert, ja.
Todd from marketing. All right. So
Sag mir deinen Font.
I made this at one size. Luxury of creating at just one size. So let me switch over to this project. Lovely animated project. Because new to Express is the ability to add as much as you want at any size you want. Facebook, Pinterest, YouTube, Snapchat. If you're using Snapchat, I don't know, I don't.
Oh,
Maybe
das
you
ist
are. You can
praktisch.
knock out those graphics. And look what it did. It reflowed that content as well. That's some Adobe magic right there. But it's not on brand, right?
Das werde ich natürlich für meine...
This is my fun
Ja,
part
das
right
brauche
here.
ich. Ich bin
Just jumping in
überall.
and just applying brand to all of that. So any screen, right? Any size for any platform. I'm drunk with power right now.
Aber das ist wirklich geil.
All right, let's go back to this design because I'm finally ready to publish. Publishing is easy.
Was ist hier
Go to
los?
publish, select the platform that you want, like I'm doing right now. Really, anyone you want, and as many platforms as you want. We'll jump
Haben wir kurz, dass wir nicht mehr live sind? Vielleicht ist es dann besser.
in there. We'll select all those. We can add a caption.
Springt immer
We'll
wieder
just
zu
add
live.
an
Okay.
emoji right here, take a preview of our work. Gorgeous, 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 looking great. And this is my favorite part right here. Check this out, a scheduler, built-in scheduling. You pick the date, you pick the time, it puts it right in there.
Das ist mein
Looks like I'm working.
Terminkalender diese Woche gewesen.
Social media is doing its thing, even on the weekends. You can move this around, you can unschedule stuff.
Hallo,
for
herzlich
publishing later.
willkommen.
But I lied, this is actually my favorite part. Using Express for the
Florentin Will ist ja auch ein
scheduler load.
großer
You can take your
Designer.
Illustrator, your Photoshop content, in this case.
Ihr kennt ihn ja. Florentin Will ist bekannt als großartiger Designer, der auch gerne die Adobe-Produkte nutzt, vor allem After Effects, indem er seine Thumbnails abfotografiert, einen Screenshot macht und das ist dann sein Thumbnail. Ja. Ich glaube, er hätte auch hier auf dieser Adobe-Konferenz auch eine Session halten können. Stichwort Lamm. Wäre, glaube ich, gut angekommen hier. Der Beste unserer Zeit.
Thank you, Paul.
Kaum da schon geroastet,
as you
so
can
muss
see,
abgehen.
Express now has an
Wartet erstmal auf
incredible
das
feature
Best-of.
set, highly curated assets and templates, and is really becoming an essential companion for modern-day creativity. I'm just really incredibly proud of this team.
Wir haben ja schon gute Sachen gesehen hier. Bei InDesign und Illustrator gibt es sehr, sehr gute Neuerungen. Ich warte natürlich jetzt hardcore auf Photoshop und Premiere. Das sind meine zwei Hauptsachen.
You have Adobe Express, so check it out, express.adobe.com. So in the coming year, you're going to start seeing Express in more places across the web. Integrations, wherever you want to edit an image or a video or insert your brand or
falls ihr
access the
Adobe
creative
Produkte
power of
benutzt,
Adobe Express inline.
vor allem
And one of those
Illustrator und
integrations we're
InDesign, dann
announcing
skippt
today
nochmal eine
is with
Viertelstunde
Wix,
zurück.
the cloud-based
Da sind
website
einige sehr
development
coole
platform.
Neuerungen dabei.
So through a seamless integration between Express and Wix, users will be able to edit any media on their websites, including adding effects, animation, and more. And this is really just the first of many partnerships where we're trying to bring creativity wherever you need it on the web with Express. Now, what you saw in Paul's demo is really just the beginning. Express is evolving super fast, and based on your feedback, we have a lot more
Aber
that's coming
jetzt
in the
bin ich aber hier ein
pipeline.
bisschen
Let me
angefixt auf
just give you a
Express.
quick glimpse of the future so you see what is in store.
Ist das quasi wie
So
Photoshop nur
Express is
einfacher
going to
oder
become
was?
the world's most agile multimedia editor. You're going to be able to edit video, text, animations, audio, images, vectors, whatever you need for an inventive and engaging social media post. And this really outfits you to create in all major formats for all the key social platforms more quickly than ever before. And there's no need to do everything yourself. We are bringing real-time multiplayer collaboration to Express. So, you know, you and your friends or
Ja, zeig mal die
coworkers
Nummer.
can just create together and always see what each other are up to. It's really the perfect solution for every
Ich stelle mir das immer vor, wie ich das
project.
mit Leuten von euch
Express
mache.
has
Und das,
dozens of great
in
editing
meinem Kopf
tools,
ist es
but
ein komplettes
sometimes you're just going
Chaos.
to want to go further in a product like Photoshop or other Creative Cloud apps to really make your project stand out. Well, no problem.
Ja, das ist mal was. Community macht
Seamlessly
der
open your
Thumbnail.
project in another app like Photoshop, make your edits,
glaub,
and
das
then
wär-
just as easily open
komplettes
it back
Chaos.
in Express. We are building Express and all of our products to work together.
Adobe
without friction,
Multiplayer?
So you always have this choice. We are also
Mara, in letzter Zeit sind deine Thumbnails
also
ein bisschen,
bringing new AI
naja, wie soll ich sagen,
superpowers, including the ability to generate a
Wild.
background or an object in your scene.
die ganzen
just by describing it.
Schildkröten.
And we are delivering breakthrough technology to get this. Create a unique font with the power of generative AI. So,
das ist auch nicht schlecht.
It's pretty cool.
This is pretty cool, man.
Any Adobe font, and then you give Express a suggestion, like electric cables, or I don't know, orchid petals. And then Express will generate a one-of-a-kind font that matches your scene.
Mara, deine Thumbnail-Titel sind immer ein bisschen wild.
You will not find that on Adobe stock.
Warum ist deine Schrift immer aus kleinen Schildkröten
when you
gemacht?
need power and precision, you've got our flagship applications. But when you need speed and ease, Express is here for you and the rest of your team. And the best part, these products work beautifully together. The Express team is constantly shipping, so keep an eye out on Express for these new features and more coming soon. Okay, so let's now shift gears. We're going to talk about Photoshop.
Yes!
And you all
So,
know
let's
this.
go!
With Photoshop, anything is possible.
Jetzt mache ich erstmal einen Applaus.
For brands only as inspiring as their latest content. Everyone wants to stand out, and creativity ultimately unlocks self-expression.
Oh, jetzt wird's
And so we
interessant.
need Photoshop at our fingertips, wherever and whenever we need it. And over the past few years, we have been on a mission
We do not support
to make
Photoshop
Photoshop
anymore.
available
Oh,
everywhere.
no.
In 2019, we announced Photoshop on iPad, making it possible to work on a Photoshop project on the train or wherever you find yourself in the world. And last year, we showed for
Guck mal,
the
Alpaca
first
ist auch so
time
ein
Photoshop on the
iPacker ist
web,
sogar.
which lets
AI-Packer.
you and your
Großer
collaborators
Photoshop-Nutzer.
work across any browser together. When we launched Photoshop on the web, it was mostly useful for allowing people to view a project alongside some, a few light editing tools. But the Photoshop team has kept innovating. And over the last 12 months, they've continually rolled out new features, making Photoshop on the web much more powerful. Now, of course,
So, jetzt
Photoshop on
geht's
the web
ab.
doesn't have every tool and capability we've added to Photoshop over the last 30 years, but that's no problem.
Alpaca war schon
Photoshop is now
vergeben.
a system across desktop, iPad, and web. And with Cloud Documents, you can open up your file on the desktop and access the full power of Photoshop whenever you need it. So let's hear a little bit about what the Photoshop community has been up to over the past year, and then Elisa Wood will demonstrate the flexibility and power of Photoshop everywhere.
Hi, I'm Elisa Wood, design manager on the Photoshop team, and today I'm going to share with you what our team's been working on. So let's
So,
go.
jetzt geht's ab.
Here I am. Oh, thank you. So here I am in my email, and Serge has shared with me a link to today's demo document. So I can just click this link. It's going to take me right into Photoshop on the web beta. I don't have to install or download anything. I can get started right away. And on the left, I have tools. On the right is the layers panel where I can add adjustments, effects, masks. So a lot of familiar faces from Photoshop on the desktop, but now it's all right here in the browser. So it's pretty exciting. And the first thing I want to share with you guys today is now we have full fidelity raw image support here in the browser. So I can come to my place tool, choose a raw image. Let's select this
Ich
one.
mache nie was
And
im
it's going to
Browser. Ich
take me
mache
right
alles
into
nur
Adobe
in der
Camera Raw
Desktop.
here on the web. And with a few toggles here, I can start to adjust the look and feel of this image, playing around with all that data that's in this raw image. So if you've used Photoshop on the desktop in the past, or maybe Lightroom, you will understand why it's pretty exciting that now we have this here on the web. So now that I'm done, what do? I just hit done, and it takes me right back into my document on the web. Now, I can just scale and resize this to get it right where I want it. That is looking pretty good. All right, so that's a raw image that we edited in the browser. Now, the next thing I want to do, because this is Photoshop, is add a few more images, right? I want to do some compositing. I've got this gnarly tentacle that I found on Adobe stock, and I want to combine it with a few more things. There's some moss, and I need to get rid of the background so it looks like it's sitting on the tentacle.
So,
now,
jetzt
to
aber.
do this, I could come here and choose any of my OG selection tools like Lasso, Magic Wand, but I can also just hit Remove Background, and it analyzes the image and removes the background for me. And you might think,
So,
that was
das
pretty
wollte ich
already
nämlich
cut
haben.
out. Well, this one is not. There's a sky, there's some grass, there's general shrubbery in the foreground here. And when I go back to my
Shrubbery.
selection tool, choose Remove Background, it analyzes the image, and again, it removes it.
Oh,
Perfect. Yeah, it's
okay.
pretty cool.
Meine Thumbnails werden einiges schneller entstehen
And
demnächst.
it's Photoshop, so it's all non-destructive. I can come back in, whoops, and keep editing here. I'll just choose the moss mask. Change my color. There we go.
Das ist auch noch richtig gut ausgeschnitten, sonst ist ja immer so schäbig ausgeschnitten.
How remove background is a really good way to jumpstart a composite workflow, and then you can use core Photoshop features like masking and brushing right here in the browser to make it your own. Get creative with it. All right. So that's looking pretty
Alter, wenn
good.
das funktioniert,
I might do a little
dann
better
spart mir
job,
das richtig
but
Zeit.
I'm in front of a few thousand people. So here we go. So that's looking great. And one more thing I want to do before moving on is point out
Ich bin super gespannt, wie das dann wirklich in echt funktioniert.
And it's called our contextual taskbar. And what it does is it highlights options that are, your most likely next step. So if I make a selection here, you see the options change. Now I've got options for masking, content-aware fill. It's things that I probably might want to reach for next. And if you're someone like me who sometimes forgets where things are in the UI, it can come in handy. It's probably right there. And you might even find out about some new options that you didn't know about. So contextual taskbar, going to save you time, make it easier here in Photoshop. Now, like I said, Photoshop on the web is great, and it's really, really handy for doing some quick editing, some lightweight work, but maybe you want to move over into the desktop. We've got you. It's super easy. All I need to do is push open in desktop here from my header, and when I do that, it's going to take me right into Photoshop on the desktop. It's going to launch my file right where I left off. All of my layers are here that I created in the web. Even the layer that I was working on last is selected. So it's really, really easy. No friction.
Haben die gesagt, habt ihr das mitbekommen, ab wann die Funktionen da drin sind?
I want to check out the updates that we've made to sky replacement. So with my background layer selected, come to sky replacement. And again, it analyzes the image, masks out everything, replaces the sky. And this year, the team has been doing some phenomenal work so that now the edge detection and lighting is even better. So it really looks like this is the original sky in the image. So amazing results from the sky replacement team here in Photoshop on the desktop. So this scene is starting to look pretty good, and I want to add one final touch, and this is going to be a gradient. So if you've used gradients in the past, you might be used to thinking, okay, before I get started, I need to create a new layer, and then I need to make sure that my preset is set right and I have the right gradient selected, because if I don't, then I'm going to have to redo it.
Wann sagen sie am Ende?
And then you find yourself swiping. You're swiping and you're swiping. It's a lot of trial and error and a lot of swiping. It's kind of like dating. It can be, happily married now. But with the new gradients, I can just come in here, I swipe, and I get this great on-canvas UI. I can keep moving things around, scale it down, change my preset. So that's pretty nice. Let me just open this one. There we go. And you can see how fun it is with this one especially. I can do a little dance. Now, like any other layer, I can come over here, choose a new blend mode, maybe scale down the opacity. And another fun thing about these new gradients is because it's fully editable, I can come over here and remove a stop just by pulling it off. I can add a stop by re-clicking. I could even come here and change the color of the stop. So it's non-stop fun here with editable gradients in Photoshop Desktop.
Oh ja, da ist Caro nämlich auch mal hier im Chat.
Thanks, guys.
Jetzt haben wir hier auch mal was für Caro. Let's Design.
Just like an adjustment layer, it comes with its own mask, so I can start masking out portions of the gradient that I don't want, and I can keep moving it around, fully editable. So it makes gradients in Photoshop much more powerful and precise. It's what you expect. All right, so I'm pretty happy with where I'm at with this, and I want to share it to see what others think. And just like Danielle and Bria showed you in Illustrator and InDesign, we can do this now in Photoshop. I have Share for Review right here in my Share panel. And I've already created a link, and I've already shared it with a bunch of different collaborators.
Demnächst wird schweißfrei gearbeitet, aber sowas
what I'm
von.
doing in real time. Nobody's looking over my
Sowas von
shoulder.
vor dem
There's
Chef
no
im
hovering
Geschäft.
art directors here. They only see what I want them to see when I want them to see it. And that's now. So I'll push the update content, and this is pushing the latest to the link. So now everybody can see and share their comments, their thoughts, their concerns, and all of that comes right here into my commenting panel. So I see that there's a lot of love, a lot of people are digging it. There is some thought that maybe some of the beams are a little much. So no problem. I understand that. I can remove some of the beams. I'll just come back in again to my fully editable gradient, pull some of these off, and it's done.
Dass man noch einzelne rausnehmen kann,
So
ist
that's
einfach.
the full consolidated
Das ist schon
comments
krass.
here with Share for Review in Photoshop. And that's what we've been working on across Photoshop on the web
Schildkröte.
and desktop. Thank you so much.
Also allein schon das mit dem Hintergrund wegmachen und so, dass das gut erkennt, wäre schon geil.
So Lisa showed some great new
Ja,
features in
voll auf
Photoshop,
grün
but there's just
geskillt.
not enough time to show you all the latest and greatest. This team has been constantly rolling out new features that both speed up your work and let you do things that were just never before possible. I mean, for example, we didn't get to it, but neural filters. These are those AI-powered features that do complicated and sophisticated edits with just a few clicks. Among some of the latest ones, just to point a few out, you'll find depth blur, which automatically tweaks the background of your photos to help your subjects stand out.
Sehr gut.
Landscape mixer, which lets you combine two landscape images, change seasons, or even change the time of day. And colorize, which quickly brings color to any black and white photograph.
Was, man, die ganzen
Lisa also
Schwarz-Weiß-Bilder.
showcased our new collaboration features in Photoshop. So whenever you need to share that moment in time with a client or a stakeholder, Share for Review is there for you. Shipping
Wir haben jetzt Farbe in Bildern.
Okay, we're going to now switch gears. We're going to talk
Glaubt ja nicht, dass ich euch
noch
noch mal irgendein Schwarz-Weiß-Bild zeige. Das werde ich jetzt alles einfärben.
And photography enables us to see the world through the eyes and minds of others. I feel it's the images of people, places, and moments that capture the texture of our lives. And it's only when we kind of look back through it all that we realize how much we've really lived. So it makes sense
auch bewegte Bilder mit Ton, ja? Das wird der nächste
photography to the
Schritt
next
sein.
level. And much of the magic
Stellt euch
comes
mal vor,
from what you do after
Stellt euch mal
you
vor,
take
wie
the
Roswitha
shot.
Haas, die
How do you
Dingo-Filme
adjust the
macht,
colors to
jetzt hier
capture a
gucken
mood?
würde.
Or use light and shadow
Was man hier
to
alles machen
direct
kann.
people's attention.
Wahrscheinlich werden
Or
die
edit a
Dingo-Filme
portrait to bring
trotzdem
out your
exakt so.
subject's unique personality.
Der
Lightroom is what professional and amateur
Quatsch brauche ich
photographers
nicht.
around the world use to make their photography truly their photography.
Lightroom.
Over the last year, the Lightroom team has released dozens of new features for desktop, mobile, and web. Many of these use
Immer noch
AI
dasselbe, aber mit so ganz
to
vielen
actually
Filtern nochmal
easily
drüber.
select and improve specific parts of your image, the sky, the background, individual people, even the specific parts of a person's face. Or you can use one of the many new Lightroom adaptive presets that improve your whole image with just a click. It's pretty awesome. And thanks again, Michael, for letting us just spend an entire day with you, watching you do your thing. I want to repeat one thing Michael said. As a photographer and an artist,
Strand ist 15 Minuten weg von hier. So, Saurus, jetzt haben wir raus, wo du wohnst.
I think it's so well said, and also it's a beautiful mission. It's such an amazing thing to capture photographs of those moments for the rest of us. I feel like that's so much of what that art is all about. Photography is also becoming a more collaborative medium. When we have an adventure, a trip with friends, a wedding, any sort of event, we want to share our images with everyone involved. So I want to make sure you know about Lightroom albums, which really makes photo sharing super easy, but it also allows for group editing. So your friends can choose their favorites and make their own edits and improvements. It's really a great way to preserve the memories, but also enhance them in a uniquely collaborative way together. Earlier, David mentioned the Content Authenticity Initiative. So a little bit more about this. CAI, as we like to call it, a little easier off the tongue, now has more than 800 members, is developing open source technology available to all that helps establish provenance and attribution of a piece of content. So people who create media can choose to add content credentials that show who made the content and how. And our vision is a world in which much, much more of the content that's created and shared has content credentials attached from anywhere that you make it. And that
Aber
media,
unsichtbar, oder?
and the media that
Stehen jetzt nicht
doesn't,
5 Namen
the media
drauf.
that sort of strikes us and raises questions, we at least can question, where did it come from if it doesn't have content credentials attached. So adding provenance and attribution is a real powerful solution, we think, to some of the modern challenges that we face today. In a world of social media and misinformation, content credentials can help us determine who made what and how it was made and whether it can be trusted. And I'm proud to say that 2 leading camera manufacturers, Leica and Nikon, are implementing content authenticity into 2 new cameras, making it easy for photographers to attach content credentials to their work from the moment of the shot. And new use cases of CAI continue to emerge. In the wild, wild west of NFTs, content credentials helps prevent fraud by making it actually easier to see who
Die
created
ganzen
a piece of digital art, not just who minted
NFT-Mäuse
it.
da im Chat.
And in the world of
Wer von euch
generative
hat
AI,
einen?
content
Wer
credentials
von
can
euch hat
help
ein paar
us show
NFTs
what was
in
created
der
by a
Tasche?
human and what was created by a machine. And as generative AI becomes a bigger part of the creative process, we feel this information will be essential. Because the story behind a piece of art, the people who made a creation, and how it was made, has always been important to viewers and collectors. Content credentials will help ensure we always know whose story we are experiencing. Okay, now let's talk
so
a
viele
bit about
NFT-Fans.
video, the storytelling tool
Ich
of our
habe aber auch
generation.
keinen.
Stories told in video inspire, sell, and drive change in a way that very few mediums
NFT von
can.
Dingo-Film?
But there's nothing easy about making video. Editing is time-consuming, special effects have a steep learning curve, and video is one of the most intensely collaborative mediums. So our video team has been focused on making editing and production quicker and easier through AI and other innovations you're going to see in just a few minutes here. And over the last year, we have integrated Frame.io, the preeminent cloud-based video collaboration tool, directly into Premiere Pro and After Effects. So with Frame.io, you can say goodbye to the clunky old way of reviewing video that involved tons of emails and vague time-coded stamped comments and whatever else. With Frame.io, you know precisely what frame a comment is referring to. Reviewers can even actually circle a part of the video that they're concerned about. And with Frame.io, security comes first. You always know that people who are viewing a video are authorized
die passt jetzt
to do so.
zu meinem
Along
Geld,
with
ne?
integrating Frame.io, we've also added features to
Ja, wir haben
Premiere
es
Pro
abgesprochen.
that will make video editing a lot faster.
Letzten,
Karina Anglada is
Treffen mit
here
den
with Jason
CEOs.
Levine, and they will show us in a moment how to, just how we're streamlining the video workflow end to end.
Hey everyone, my name is Karina Anglada, and I am so excited to share some of the updated features and collaborative tools with just some of our video products.
Da ihre
I'm
Haare
here working in
auszuschneiden
Premiere
wäre
Pro,
schwierig
where I'm
bisher.
just about ready to share this video for review.
Aber möglich
But
natürlich.
before I do that, I want to verify some of my graphics.
So, jetzt geht's
I
ab
want to
hier.
call attention to the timeline here. I've got this lower third, which is actually a motion graphics template from Adobe stock. Motion graphics templates are special because they're fully customizable, from the text to the colors to the size. And we have thousands of them, just like this one here, where again, everything is fully editable. But one of my favorite design elements to use are animated transitions like this one. Here we've got these cool effects applied to the footage, and everything is self-contained in this one blue clip. But if I were to make something like this manually, it might look something a little more like this sequence here. I've got 6 different video layers of light leaks, film grain, and if I wanted to make any adjustments to this, it would be extremely time-consuming. Well, new to Premiere,
Ihr ratet mal, welche Transition im nächsten besser auf jeder Clip hat, ja?
So if I want to replace this first sewing machine shot and swap it with something else,
Ich habe schon so ein Transition Pack zum Glück. 3 sogar. Muss man aber kaufen. Und das ist jetzt automatisch mit dabei, so wie ich das verstehe. Das ist schon nicht schlecht, dass es noch mehrere von gibt.
All right, now I'm ready to share this video for review. And that's where one of my favorite features, Frame.io, comes into play. New to Premiere is the Frame.io review panel directly integrated into the platform. Frame.io is the best way to share and collaborate with others. It consolidates my comments and feedback, and it centralizes my projects and assets. So I'm going to add my friend Jason Levine to this project, and I'm going to upload this sequence directly into Frame.io. What's amazing is I can check this box, which ensures that my markers on the timeline here upload as frame-accurate comments. So I'll upload this video, it gets sent to the cloud, and Jason is going to leave me some feedback.
Jason, oder hat Fans du?
Hello, creative humans. It's very nice
Ich
to
glaub,
see
der
you
ist
all. So
beliebt.
lovely to be back. Well, here I am in the browser in Frame.io.
Das ist noch ein Evangelist, Creative Cloud Evangelist. So stelle ich mir einen vor.
But more importantly, the most important thing of all, frame accurate comments and markups right here. Yes! Thank you, sir, in the back. And if you look down in the tools panel below, you'll see that we have very similar tools. You can draw or paint directly onto a singular frame of video. Or you can use things like the arrow tools to call out areas like blown out highlights, or just calling attention to a specific region of your video frame. Any of you can do this. You feel me?
Yay, so muss sein.
Been locked away for 2 years. All right, so let's tackle Karina's comments. The first one here is, how does this look? And I'm assuming she's talking about the general look of this. It looks lovely. I love the shot, but it does look a little bit flat compared to some of the other frames that I saw before. So I'm simply going to come down to the comments field here and type needs color correction or needs color correction. Whichever it is, she will understand me. And that frame accurate comment will now be sent directly from here to the review panel in Premiere Pro, and she'll be able to see that comment. Perfect. Let's go to the next one here. How is the audio? Now, we've been working really, really hard on this audio track. We went through thousands and thousands of songs in dozens
Anyone
and dozens
can
of
do
styles,
this.
all available via Adobe Stock Audio. So I'm very concerned. I want to hear how the eventual mix turned out. I want to see how this really turned out. So let's take a quick listen and see. And it's beautiful, except that the music keeps playing and we've already faded to black. So she needs to now cut that track to fit the end of the video. So I'm simply going to come back down to my comments field here and say trim music to end of video and send that off, and that comment is now done. All right. Now for the last comment here, she's asking my thoughts on the animation. And no doubt, she's referencing that motion graphics template that you just saw moments ago. And I love this. I love all the effects that have been applied. I just love the whole look of this thing. But I seem to recall that in an earlier version, she used a different overhead shot, a shot of this sewing machine that was really, really cool. It really popped. Now, if you look in the top left corner of the browser here, we have this incredible ability in Frame.io to compare versions of different edits. And when I go into the compare version window here, let me just back up a little bit. Okay, now we can play this back. I can see exactly what, and there it is. There's the shot. There's the overhead of that sewing machine. That is the one that I want. It's version 1. So I'm going to go back to the player here, back into my comments field, and say, please swap clip 1 with version 1. Great typing. It's that editor reviewer thing. You get what I mean. Yeah. Friends, it is that simple. Anyone can do this. Anyone can review video, mark up video, and do it frame accurately. It is truly the best way, the easiest way, nay, the only way, with Frame.io in the browser to send those comments right back to Premiere Pro and have them appear in your timeline. Thank you very much.
Woo!
Awesome. I see Jason's comments here in my Frame.io review panel, but it would be useful if I could see them directly on my timeline. So I'm going to go ahead and import comments, and boom, there are his added in green and my original markers in blue. And when I click each comment, it takes me to the exact frame where he left me the feedback. So here he wants me to need some color correction with an M, but I won't give him any hard time about that. I need to color correct this clip. Now, I'm not a professional colorist, so I need something to help me jumpstart the color grading
Das Best-of gebe ich ab und dann
Autocolor
da ist nichts mehr anzumerken. Das ist
color
schon
correction tool powered by Adobe Sensei machine learning that helps me do just that.
immer sympathisch, wenn man sich
I
selber
click
lobt.
Autocolor, and it instantly applies that color correction. What's amazing is I still have full control here with the sliders, and when I toggle the before and after, I see the difference is dramatic. So I get one-click color correction with autocolor. I'll check off this comment, and here go to the next one, where Jason wants me to trim my music to the end of the video. And when I zoom out of my timeline, I see my purple music track from Adobe Stock is far too long for my video. Now what I could do is simply drag and add a fade, but that's a little lazy, if we're being honest. And I take a lot of pride in my work. With the Remix tool, I can shorten or lengthen any piece of music to the exact duration I need. What's amazing is Premiere Pro is going to analyze the music, and it will preserve the beginning and end of my song. And it will show me what these transition edits are with these wiggly lines. So let's take a listen and see how it did.
Was?
That was envisioned from your mind. It's really magical.
Okay, das wäre...
No, exactly.
Okay, wenn das funktioniert, ist es Hexenwerk. Das wäre richtig gut.
Did the work for me, saving me so much time and energy, and that is the incredible power of the Remix tool. All right, I have one last comment to get through, and here Jason wants me to swap out this
Das spart mir tatsächlich Zeit.
with another one, and again, just like before with media replacement with motion graphics templates.
Falls ihr im nächsten Best-of komische Schnitte hört in der Musik, dann hat es nicht so gut funktioniert.
Ready to go on my timeline here. All right, I'm
Best-of
ready
schneiden
to
sie
share
alleine.
the final version. But this time I'm going to go back to Frame.io and I'm going to share this as a presentation. This gives me my own custom branding. I have the option to password protect it, allow downloads, and when I click the link, it's ready for me to share with anyone. These are just a few of the incredible features and the new ways to collaborate. We cannot wait to see
Dieses
the work
Musikding da
that you
gerade,
create.
das
Thank you.
hörte sich sehr gut an. Okay, also meine Favorites bisher das mit dem ganz schnellen Hintergrund rausmachen und das Musikding gerade.
All right. Thanks, Karina, and thanks, Jason. So that is just a taste of the latest and greatest in the video.
Erzähl niemand von den ganzen
We've been
Features,
rolling
sonst
out
bist du bei
hardware
der
acceleration and other performance improvements, improved handling of
Mach das Beste auf dem
graphics
nächsten
and
innerhalb von 2
titles, added
Stunden.
new quick export features, and so much more. It's also great to see the integration of Frame.io, Premiere Pro, and After Effects really coming together to accelerate collaboration and sharing. More coming on that front as well.
Sowas fürs Pen and Paper? Ja, ja.
Right. Thank you, Emery and Michael. This is really
V-Raptor
an exciting
XL
breakthrough
kostet
for the video industry as a
41.000
whole, and it really is
€.
just
Oh,
the start.
wow.
The roadmap for camera to cloud is pretty mind-blowing. So we've
Richtiger
talked a
Schnapper.
lot
Schnappt aber zu.
today about collaboration, and that's because, as we all know, collaboration plays a central role in modern creativity. Creativity is now a team sport, and the first question many of us ask when we start a project is, who are we going to work with? Bringing in more people doesn't just help distribute the workload. It brings in diverse new perspectives,
Arbeitet ihr lieber im
inspirations, and
Team
ideas
oder
that are new
alleine?
to you. And by engaging more stakeholders, creativity becomes more central to every
vorstellen, bei so
experience
einem-
and to every business.
Bei so einem
The challenge, of
Photoshop-Projekt mit
course,
mehreren
is
Leuten.
how to make all of this
Ich
seamless
arbeite
and
lieber
efficient.
alleine.
How do you efficiently brainstorm together, gather perspectives, and share work when your collaborators could be in any time zone, anywhere in the world? That's why we've been working to bring
lieber im Team.
seamless, asynchronous collaboration to all of Creative Cloud. Whether it's mood boards on Behance for swapping ideas and inspirations and collecting stuff, Creative Cloud libraries for the sharing of colors and fonts and stock assets and other components that your team relies on and needs to stay in sync with, or share for review in Frame.io for getting feedback on the work you produce. And more to come.
Ja, dieses
right?
ganze
More to
Sharing-Feature
come that we
scheint ein
need
großes
to-
Ding
need
zu
to
sein
do
jetzt
is
hier.
support collaboration all across Creative Cloud and make it seamless.
Von den ganzen Sachen, die ich nehme, ist auch After Effects das Schwierigste.
Dylan, hey,
Oder am
welcome to
schwierigsten
Max.
zu lernen.
Thank you.
So for those in the audience who haven't tried Figma before, can you give a quick description of what Figma is and what do you think has made it so successful over the decade your team's been working on it?
Yeah, absolutely. And Scott, thank you for having me. I'm so pumped to be here. This is my first Max. Thank you for welcoming me. So,
Dylan!
a bit about Figma. Figma is a platform for product development teams. And 10 years ago, we started Figma with this belief that product design work should live in the browser, not just for efficiency, but also for more openness and for better collaboration. And this was a very controversial belief at the time. People told us that if this is the future of design, they were changing careers.
Chat muss sich gerade
But
sehr
thankfully, it also
zurückhalten.
headed and tracked to where the world was going. So we are still, and we've talked about this a lot over the years, in the middle of a multi-decade shift from a physical economy to a digital economy. And I think just as you look at the number of apps and websites being designed, that number has clearly exploded. And as a result, product design has become a way for companies to stand apart. People saw this and said, hey, I want to be involved in the product design process, even if they weren't a quote-unquote designer. And as a web-based product design tool, Figma has tried to welcome them in. So today, product design is no longer just one part of product building. It's also
Ja,
the
guck mal, Fenster
brainstorming
aufkippen, hat
phase,
er recht.
and it's the research
Hat
work
darauf
that
einen Ping.
precedes it. Which is why we built a second product, which we shipped last year, FigJam. And FigJam is a whiteboarding tool that can also be used for brainstorming, ideation, diagramming. And it's also can be about the code that follows the design process too. And so we're really trying to make Figma into this end-to-end product experience.
So it's important that Figma has a
Chat.
within Adobe and that the design community really benefits from the
Hört
work
auf
we do
mit euren
together.
ganzen
So
Punkten.
after Figma joins Adobe, what are some of the first additions to the product roadmap that you're excited to tackle? And I'm curious if there are any
Muss ich mal
specific
kichern.
requests from the community.
Yeah, there is so much that I'm excited to do here, and so much I'm excited to build. So by collaborating with the Adobe team and utilizing Adobe's technology, I think we're going to be able to build way more
Ich kann mir
capabilities into
vorstellen,
the
wie
Figma
wir gerade alle
platform
kichernd
faster.
vom Bildschirm
So
sitzen. Ja, ich
first,
glaube es
Adobe
auch.
has core expertise in a bunch of areas, many of which we've talked about today, such as video, imaging, vector, 3D, and we know that working in these areas is also part of the product design process as well. But we don't serve that very well in Figma today. So one of the first things, to answer your question, one of the first things that I think we'll
Figma
do,
today.
Drum roll, please.
Adobe fonts.
Fonts.
But intertwine today, that was awesome. I think it might give fonts a run for money, so we'll see. I watched the demo, I was like, wow, that's amazing. I want that now.
We'll chat backstage. We'll figure that out.
Okay. But anyway, so we'll always keep listening to the community, though. And of
Birne
course, as
sorgt
people
mal wieder
give us
für Ruhe im
feedback,
Chat.
we'll adjust accordingly.
Awesome. Well,
Plötzlich
you
wieder alle
visited Figma.
12.
I remember you talking about this notion of eliminating the gap between imagination and reality.
Ich finde, seine
I should say a
Schuhe
lot
sehen
of the,
teilweise aus, als wären die
founders I
animiert.
mentor, when they send me a link
Oder
to the
wisst ihr, was
product
ich
they're
meine?
building, it's
Die sehen
always
gar
a
nicht
Figma
echt
link
aus.
these days. Where are you in the pursuit of this?
Yeah, so for me, closing the gap between imagination and reality, that means giving people the tools they need to get something from their mind onto the canvas and onto the screen. And our vision is to make it so that product design is accessible to everyone.
Wenn sich nachher herausstellt, dass die Leute da gar nicht wirklich auf der Bühne waren, sondern einfach mit einem neuen Premiere-Tool da reingeschoppt, das wäre ein Plot-Twist. Das ist ein größerer Plot-Twist als bei Rings of Power, sage ich euch.
With Adobe, even beyond product design, we think we can start to reimagine the future of creative tools on the Figma platform. And of course, with a focus on collaboration, as we discussed today. And I also think that we can just, as we build these new tools, these new spaces, it can start to bring the power of visual collaboration into that work for everyone. So much to build, and really excited for this.
So much to build indeed. Dylan, thank you so much for joining us today. All of us at Adobe are just super eager to start working with you and your team.
Can't wait.
Awesome. Hey, thanks so much. All right.
Der Krieger, jetzt sind alle nackt.
So,
Das ist die neue
perhaps the
Funktion.
fastest growing
Die Kleider ganz schnell auf Leute
creativity
drauf
right
shoppt.
now is 3D and immersive. Over the last couple of years, we've seen the adoption of 3D design explode among companies and organizations, including Burberry, Nike, NASA, Ben & Jerry's, and many more. These companies are using 3D tools to do things that used to be done in more expensive and time-consuming ways, like creating marketing images for catalogs, websites, and ads without the need for traditional photo shoots. And they're creating renderings of new products that don't even exist to more easily test ideas with customers. Designers at Salomon, for instance, say that creating prototypes in 3D as opposed to having far-off factories creating physical versions has cut the time required by more than 60% and allows them to produce 10 times as many prototypes.
Die Marke sagt mir
Designers
gar
love the
nichts.
efficiency of
Wahrscheinlich eher in den
3D
USA
and
bekannt.
exploring ideas more quickly. But 3D is about more than just efficiency. Anyone who has played a modern game knows the unique capability 3D has, creating these beautiful, detailed and enveloping worlds. And pretty much every immersive game that you've all played was touched with a Substance 3D product. As we look into the future, it's clear that immersive experiences, including those powered by augmented reality and virtual reality, will play a huge role in our everyday lives. So we have been building the Adobe Substance 3D suite to enable seamless production of 3D assets and experiences. And for those of you that are new to the world of 3D and immersive creation, it all starts with a 3D shape or model. Now, there's a good chance you can find a model to start with in our stock collection within the Adobe Substance 3D library. Substance 3D assets include thousands
Das
of
werden
models,
sowas von meinen
everything from
Streams sein. Da
people
wird nur
to
noch 3D durch die Gegend
buildings,
fliegen.
furniture to clothing and materials and textures galore. And if you want to create your own model, the latest addition to the Substance suite is the perfect tool. Today, we are launching Substance Modeler, a breakthrough app that lets you create 3D objects from scratch, literally molding them out of virtual clay. And what you create in Modeler, it's really amazing, like anything in your mind's eye.
Oha, MD ist immer eine gute
Let's take
Abkürzung.
a quick look at Modeler in action, introduced
das
by
mein neues
Giovanni
Programm?
Knockpill. Giovanni.
Thank you, Scott. Hi, I'm Gio. And I'm excited to show you Adobe Modeler, which is our new 3D app that pretty much lets you manipulate geometry with its feel and tactility of clay. So here in desktop mode, you can use adjustable shapes to pretty much block in the primary forms of a character under the guidance of our intuitively designed gizmo tool, pretty much. So now Modeler can seamlessly transition from desktop to VR, so I tend to kind of go to VR a lot early on in the process because I love the expressivity that I can get out of it. In this mode, I have the freedom to use my hands and sculpt on the surface in a much more natural manner. So capturing rhythm and flow with these shapes are pretty much important to me as they define the personality and attitude of whatever character it is I'm building. In this case, a dragon. So pretty much the most exciting thing about VR for me, whenever someone asks me, is the feeling that my sculpture is actually there. It's hard to communicate that with watching it on a flat screen.
Da muss aber auch schon
right
künstlerisch
now, but, true
krass
depth
sein, oder?
allows me to see the forms in the context of true scale. I can resize this as big as a school bus, and it'll really feel like the
Du musst
dragon
es ja quasi auch
is up
schon
there
im echten Leben können,
looking
sowas.
at me in the same space that I'm occupying.
Holy
which is
shit.
really cool. Now,
glaub,
with the
das ist nichts für
surfacing
Anfänger.
tools, as you can see here, I can add detail that flows in a natural and organic manner, using it more like an airbrush, which gives me a lot of nuance with my strokes. Also, the freedom to duplicate, grab, and place digital clay. These are all actions that would take so much longer in desktop, but in VR, it's so super quick and super natural. I can sculpt one of those clumps, and other copies can inherit that modification, pretty much. So from here, I can quickly explore different types of personalities and looks to this dragon in real time. And exploring design hasn't really been as quick and easy for me as it has been now, because of this. So there you have it. This is just a quick look at Modeler, but you can see how we're able to leverage VR for an intuitive and natural experience when creating 3D models. Thank you.
Das ist jetzt natürlich krass. Jetzt hat er natürlich auch ein krasses Beispiel genommen mit so einem
One of the things
schwierigen
that makes
Drachen.
unique is this VR interface. What specifically does VR
Ich würde
bring
damit,
to
glaube ich,
the
erstmal so eine Kartoffel bauen.
Yeah,
Kartoffel mit
the
so zwei
ability to
Augen.
switch between both modes for me is what makes Modeler unique. When I put on the headset, I could see the sculpture directly in front of me. I take it off. Desktop app does the same. And it's that seamless transition that pretty much allows me to choose the right sort of mode for the given situation. It's interesting because I'm in VR, as I mentioned, I'm very expressive and dynamic, but when I'm in desktop mode, I'm very controlled and detailed. So Modeler satisfies both moods for me, I guess you can call it.
So now that you created this amazing dragon model, so what do you do with this? What are the next steps to bring it into an immersive world?
Yeah, there's many things I can do with it. For instance, I can take it into Substance Painter where I could apply materials and textures. And then from there, you can take it onto an app like Stager where you can render it as a still image, where you can use Photoshop
Ich habe jetzt immer noch nicht diese
to
komischen
paint over it,
Handdinger,
create
was man
an
dafür offenbar
illustration.
braucht. Oder braucht man das nicht?
And lastly, you can
War das nur noch mal
give
special?
life and motion to it, similar to what you see in AAA
Boah,
games and
stellt euch mal
visual
damit so ein
effects films
Dingo-Film
through
vor.
animation, pretty much. So
awesome. Well, thank you, Giovanni.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. So we're really excited about Modeler. It's available now on desktop, and of course works with Meta Quest 2 and Quest Pro VR headsets. So check it out. And as Gio mentioned, there are so many things that you can do with your 3D model. Many companies are using models, like this and Substance 3D, all the products, to create these industry lifelike and flexible scenes that are indistinguishable from traditional photography. So Wes McDermott is going to show us how, using Substance Painter, the leading tool for applying the materials and textures that make 3D models look real, and Stager, which puts those 3D objects into a full scene. Wes.
Ja, das stimmt natürlich.
So if you are looking to
Painter.
extend the work that you're doing in Photoshop and Illustrator,
natürlich auch
or
nochmal
just
angemalt
get
werden,
into
du.
3D, Substance Painter is the perfect tool for you. Let's take a look. So here I have Substance Painter open, and I'm working on this project for some
Ich sollte
rugged
vielleicht
outdoor
manchmal
gear.
die Commands
The
durchgehen, was ich da
backpack
noch
and
so
the
habe.
materials, they're coming from Substance 3D Assets. 3D Assets is a content library that contains thousands of materials and models that you can use to get your Substance Painter project started quickly. And here, for the water bottle, I created that myself using Substance Modeler. Now, you can leverage content that you create in Photoshop or Illustrator and transform that into a 3D material. So here I have this graphic for outdoor adventures, and I want to take this and turn it into an embroidered patch that I can place on the front of my backpack. So let's jump back over here to Substance Painter and take a look. All right, so to get this started, I'm gonna grab this embroidery material, and I'm gonna place it right here on the front of the bag. Now, I'm gonna take that Illustrator graphic, and I'm gonna place it as the image input, and you'll see within a second, there is my patch.
Oha.
Let's zoom in and take a look. So the color values have been transformed into threads and stitching. And I have full control over this. So for example, if I come over and maybe change something like the thread size, I can do so by just adjusting the slider, and you'll see again within a few seconds that updates. It looks great, and that is the power of Substance Materials to transform your Illustrator content into a 3D material. So now I would like to just bring my attention over here to my water bottle, and I'm going to start or focus on this sticker. Once again, I'm using a graphic from Illustrator, and I've been able to apply this graphic using the sticker material, of course, downloaded from Substance 3D Assets. Now, what I'd like to do is add just a little bit of weathering. Let's take a look at how we can do this. So I'll select the layer here, and let's come down and, let's take a look at my properties. I'm going to increase my fold density here. And you'll notice here that I start to get some folds on the sticker, gives it a bit more 3D in depth. That's pretty great.
Guckt euch mal an den Seiten so richtig, als wäre das so ein bisschen abgegangen.
Peel back the corner of this. Now, you're going to love this. This is awesome. This is my favorite feature here. So I'm just going to come over here to this slider, and I'm going to make an adjustment, and you can see that, well, that's awesome. I can completely just peel that sticker back and just wrinkle right up the graphic for that corner. Really, really nice. Now, the next thing I'd like to do, while I'm here is, why don't I just throw in some damage to the sticker? So here I'm just going to drag the slider, and we start to get some sticker damage. Well, I'm having fun here. That's a little too intense. No problem. This is Substance. We can always make changes. So here, let's just drop it back a little bit. There we go. Something nice and subtle. All right. There's my sticker, and I'm happy with that.
Caro ist unsere
now,
Designerin.
Taking a look at the water bottle. Looks a little too clean.
Professionelle
so here,
Designerin.
I want to use the power of Substance Painter to add a little bit of edge damage. To do that, I'm going to grab this metal edgeware generator that ships with Painter, and I'm going to drag and drop it right here onto my layer stack. Now, you'll see we're starting to get an effect, but again, I can make changes to this. Let's come over to the properties, and I'm going to just increase this wear level. You can see I can dial this effect up and down, maybe add a little bit of grunge.
Oh, ey. Jetzt muss ich erstmal wissen, wie man die Modelle macht. Das hier würde mir zum Beispiel mehr Spaß machen, als ein Modell zu bauen. Also ich würde lieber ein Modell bekommen und das dann so einfärben und das hier alles machen, als das Modell zu bauen, glaube ich.
Is the ability to tell a story and add character to the assets that I'm working on. And so for this water bottle, I'm going to imagine, I was out on a hike, and I had the bottle, I dropped it, it hit a rock, put a big dent on the front. Let's now take a look at how we can add that dent using Substance Painter. So here with, Photoshop, we can, paint with our brushes. However, in Substance Painter, our brushes allow me to paint directly on the 3D asset. So here I'm grabbing my dent brush. I'm going to come over here and just paint a quick stroke, and you'll see, bam, we put a big dent right here on the front of the bottle. So there it is. And if we take a look, you can see that dent's actually pushing into the 3D surface.
Ich will auch so ein Lose bemalen.
Also showing up. That's really, really awesome. However, what's even more cool about this is that it's completely non-destructive. Again, that's Substance, non-destructive. So let's jump over here to the layer stack and take a look. I have this slider. Watch this.
Ja, was mit Edro? Edro macht auch solche Gaming-Sachen.
There we go. It completely disappears. That is amazing.
This is amazing. Edro hat schon sein Spiel fast fertig gebaut und jetzt kommt das hier.
Okay, so that's it. That is Substance Painter. I
Edro hätte eigentlich nur 2 Minuten gebraucht.
I just know you guys are going to love it too. All right, but however, there's more fun to be had here. So that's Substance, right?
Das war alle Game Designer
gerade. I need to texture these assets. So to do that, I'm going to jump over to another application called Substance Stager. And I can send all of this content right into Stager by going to File, Send to Substance 3D Stager, and you can see it here. Now, let's jump over here
das lernen die Game Art Studenten schon. Ach, guck mal, wir sind überhaupt nicht up to date. Was ist denn jetzt hier wieder los?
Stage 3D assets into a scene so that I can render them for use in something like, a marketing
Aber das
campaign or an
habt ihr noch nicht
advertisement.
gewusst, Edro.
You can see here that I have the 3D
Erzähl mir doch nicht,
content
dass ihr
I
das
just
schon
sent over from
konntet.
Painter, and then here in the background, I have this 2D image, and we're going to composite these two guys together. So here, let's just go ahead and re-enable that. To start this off, I'm going to select my camera, and I'm going to click this Match Image button. Now, here, Stager's going to use some, crazy machine learning magic to create lights and match my camera perspective. So I'll click OK here and let Stager do its thing. And there we go. It's done it. Thanks a lot, Stager. I like to thank the robots, for their AI work, just in case maybe they end up taking over someday. So here, I'm just going to reposition here my 3D object. Now I'm going to turn on here my ray tracing or my render preview so I can get a good idea of my lighting. Now, let's jump over to my environment, and you can see here I have some lights, and I have my environment light. Scene's a little dark, so again, just simple slider adjustment, brightens my scene up. That's looking pretty good. Now, looking at this 2D image, I can see that my sunlight's coming here from this side of the screen. Now, what I'd like to do is take my sunlight and point it or reorient it to the top corner of the bag. And I can do that by just grabbing this target option, and I'll click here at the top corner of the bag, and there we go. I reposition my light. Also, we're going to just increase that intensity value. Let's pump it up. There we go. Looking great. However, I'm taking a look at this shadow, and it's looking a little harsh there, a little bit too,
Wusste gar nicht, dass Adobe auch sowas anbietet. Ja, ich dachte auch.
So here I can adjust another slider here called cloudiness, and that's going to create this nice, realistic fall off that I would expect in the real world. Awesome. Okay, so there's my render. Super happy with this. I could, save this out as a 2D image like a JPEG or a PNG, and just call it a day. However, if I want to take this even further, I can export this render as a PSD file and then take that into Photoshop for some more work. And I'm sure, as you guys have all guessed, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So let's now jump over to Photoshop. So here we're in Photoshop, and I've just opened that PSD that I exported from Substance Stager. Now, Stager will
Dieses Level an diesen Amazon-Produktbildern. Jetzt ist wirklich jegliche Erklärung für so schäbige Bilder,
and Stager also creates some additional layers. Let's take a look here. So we have things like a material selection mask, and I also have this depth pass. And these are going to just help aid me in this compositing process. So, as I said earlier, if you're looking to leverage content that you create in Photoshop and Illustrator, or just get into 3D, the Substance ecosystem provides everything you need to create amazing 3D imagery. I invite you to jump in and check it out. We can't wait to see what you create. Thank you.
Jetzt habe ich auch so ein bisschen Lust auf so eine Dose.
So thanks, Wes. So that scene.
Oder die Amazon-Bilder werden noch schäbiger, weil sie das falsch benutzen.
Used in a website, in e-commerce, as a catalog image. But as powerful as that workflow is,
IKEA erstellt ja den Großteil der Werbebilder mittlerweile in 3D. Ja. Ja, das könnten wir auch für IKEA, ist natürlich sehr gut.
Now, some of that transformation will be in these ambitious, immersive, all-encompassing metaverses, right? Worlds unlike the likes of which we've ever seen before. And some of it will change our everyday lives via augmented reality, on our phones at first, and on other devices in the future. Information that pops into view when you need it. New ways of viewing products in a physical space that defy the laws of physics. And transformative ways to work together remotely. The Adobe community, including many of you, are at the forefront of this new medium. So let's take a little look at how teams are creating the future.
Die Zukunft.
The really incredible moment that we're in right now is that we're seeing the beginning of this new era. For artists, the whole world is just gonna open up.
For a designer to embrace this new technology and 3D in a wider sense is essential.
Sebastian Berg,
this whole transformation is about.
This sounds like a show, guy.
We want to make products that fit people and that people love with this virtual try-on. You can take the product with augmented reality into your space and see it and walk around it. So this is really a win-win for both the customer and us as a brand.
We get much closer to our consumers, and we actually have the opportunity to build a real community, and a community really lives in both directions, right? You really want to have a superior product experience, and that 3D can help a lot.
Everyone knows Ben & Jerry's as a 2D illustration style. We have now taken that, put it into the 3D world. We have moved on up. We can do so much more with it.
It was a cool challenge to say, okay, here's this amazing brand, this playful brand. We've got augmented reality to use here. What can we do?
We can use this augmented reality experience in a gamified way where they're understanding what goes into the tub in terms of ingredients and then it's delivered to your home.
Einfach nur ein Eis essen war gestern.
These students are
Jetzt musst du
digital
diese erst
natives. They're
erspielen.
able to realize their vision pretty fast. Every student coming out of
Was
the
sind das
industrial
für
design program knows
Sachen, was sie da
some
haben?
major piece of 3D design software.
Product design for me is a humanizing experience. It helps me connect with people. I find the metaverse to be the expansion of our human reality. I like that physical aspect that I could actually like have my body and my creativity transfer onto what I'm creating. It feels so much more intuitive than like being behind a computer trying to model something. Product design is all about improvement. It's all about change. You're not limited by manufacturing. It's just truly out there. It's limitless.
der
It's
Rucksack wieder.
endless.
I'm massively excited of everything that is happening in the technology space. It doesn't have to be virtual reality, can be augmented reality, can be mixed reality. But what is clear to us is
Oh Jemine,
that
was war
those
das gerade?
virtual layers, digital layers will be omnipresent.
Our designers, they love it. We want to be part of the change, and this is all done in 3D, so 3D is really the future for
From
everything.
Color Labels? Oh, ich glaube nicht.
All right, so before we end this morning, I do have to just say how wonderful it is to be back in person again. Should we do this again next year? What do you think? All right. It's a date. Do I have any Adobe colleagues in the audience? The people and teams that are behind these products? Can you just stand up for just a second? Come on, Team Adobe. There you are.
Steht alle auf? Oh Leute, trollt doch mal ein bisschen los.
These are folks
Hätten
that
jetzt
are
alle
always up
aufstehen
for a
müssen.
challenge, that want to dream and also want to consistently anchor ourselves with what all of you need. So thank you to the teams for all the work this year. The creative world is truly a community unlike any other, and it is really your work that inspires people, including all of us at Adobe, and becomes the foundation for the next generation of creators. We inspire each other, we learn from one another, and we also know how to have a good time. So if you're here in person in LA, my colleagues and I would just love to catch up with you in the pavilion or around over the next couple of days. I hope you'll enjoy seeing old friends. I hope you'll make some new friends. I hope we'll see you tomorrow for day 2. We have just an amazing day lined up. And one last reminder, do not miss the always fun sneaks tomorrow night with the hilarious Kevin Hart, who will join Adobe's Brie Alexander to guide us through some of the
Kevin Hart ist
wild,
dabei?
new, deep, crazy tech in the Adobe labs. You will not want to miss that. We will see you there. And in the meantime, have an amazing Max. Thanks again for being with us.
Amazing! Das war's. Es war wahrlich amazing. Machen wir hier auf den Stopp. So, jetzt hier wieder mit unserer lahmen Musik. Oh, die gerade doppelt zu hören ist. So, aber jetzt nicht mehr. So, Freunde der Nacht. Wie fandet ihr es denn? Amazing oder awesome? Besser als erwartet? Da war jetzt ja wohl für jeden irgendein Feature dabei, was cool ist. Also für die Leute, die Adobe-Produkte benutzen. Flawless! Ares hat sich nur mehr gewünscht. Hauptsächlich amazing. Ich komme aus dem Excitement gar nicht mehr runter. Tja. Gotthard hat nichts mit dem Thema zu tun, aber war interessant. Ich habe noch nicht so ganz verstanden, ab wann das jetzt alles da umgesetzt ist, ob quasi ich jetzt schon aktualisieren kann und habe dann diese ganzen Geschichten. Kunstlose Brotdose fand die Dose klasse. Rickel, was ist denn sein neuester Prank ist hier? Seht ihr das mit dem Licht? Er steht genau vor der Lampe. Ah, jetzt geht's wieder. Jetzt sag bloß, so ein neuester Prank ist, mir das Licht irgendwie komisch zu machen. Der Hund. Zwieback ist auch wieder am Start. Direkt zum Ende der Präsentation kommt hier Zwieback mal angezwiebackt. Ich bin sehr gespannt. Ich werde auf jeden Fall Sachen ausprobieren. Was mich am meisten überzeugt hat, ist dieses Audio-Feature von Premiere, glaube ich. Also, um euch mal kurz zu erklären, wie ich das im Moment mache. Wenn du da, sag mal, du hast irgendwie 30 Sekunden Clip und die Musik, die da drunter soll, geht aber 2 Minuten und die soll am Ende auch so cool ausfaden und so, dann musst du da rumcutten wie bescheuert, um das irgendwie so ineinander zu verschachteln, dass diese 2-Minuten-Track irgendwie auf diese 30 Sekunden passt, dass du das wirklich so an den Stellen rausschneidest, wo dann die Musik wieder ineinander passt und so, ist ein bisschen Aufwand. Und jetzt soll es wohl dieses neue Feature geben, wo du einfach nur den Track so zusammenschiebst und das berechnet dann automatisch, wo man da Sachen rauskürzen kann und macht dann ein neues Lied raus oder so. Habe ich das verstanden? Also das wäre phänomenal. Das wäre was Neues. Gibt schon ewig in Audition, ja, aber Audition nutze ich ja nicht zum Schneiden. Wahrscheinlich, diese ganzen Sachen gibt es wahrscheinlich in irgendwelchen Programmen natürlich schon. Wenn du irgendwie seit Jahren schon 3D-Modeling machst, dann wird das jetzt auch nichts Neues für dich sein. Nur, dass das jetzt auch alles in der Adobe-Produkten gibt. Das ist natürlich jetzt interessant für mich. Einfach schneller abspielen. Zwieback hat aufgepasst, sehr gut. So. Das war doch was. Ich werde mal gucken, ob ich demnächst mal einen Stream mache, wo ich so eine Kartoffel designe oder sowas. Ich muss mal gucken, wann diese ganzen Sachen ausgerollt werden. Das wäre doch mal etwas. So. So, und jetzt muss ich mal dringend irgendwas essen. Seit 10 Uhr morgens bin ich hier am Ballern. Und morgen muss ich mal dringend das Best-of wieder weitermachen. So. Geht's denn mal hin hier? Aber ich schicke euch mal zu Janina rüber. Denn heute ist Community-Spieleabend. Falls ihr jetzt Lust bekommen habt, nach dieser ganzen kreativen Geschichte, oh, ich hätte doch mal Lust, auch jetzt noch mit den anderen Leuten hier im Chat irgendwelche Spiele zu spielen, dann könnt ihr das auf dem Community-Spieleabend machen. Über den Discord, über den Rocketmates Discord müsste das sein. So. So. Oder halt bei uns im Discord. Ja, aber das ist ja nicht der offizielle Rocket Beans Spieleabend, was ihr da macht. Also an anderen Tagen könnt ihr natürlich auch zu mir im Discord. Da findet sich abends eine illustre Runde ein und spielt da. An allen anderen Tagen. So, haut mal schönes Amazing bei Janina in den Chat. Und dann sehen wir uns wahrscheinlich am, ich glaube, Freitag. Da wird es einen lustigen Talk geben zum Thema Berufsberatung, Berufsberater-Fails. Da habe ich einige gute Dinge gehört und wir werden verschiedene Anekdoten aufklären. Manche davon sind gelogen, manche sind wahr. Könnt ihr im Forum mitmachen. 2 Anekdoten einreichen zum Thema Berufe. Eine ist ausgedacht, eine stimmt. Einfach mal Ausrufezeichen Bullshit. Ist das das Richtige? Detektor? Ich weiß auch nicht. Ja, so wie X-Faktor. Wird, glaube ich, lustig. Sonst sucht mal im Rocket Beans Forum nach Bullshit-Detektor, da findet ihr das. So. Schreibt ein schönes Amazing. Bis bald.